As advertised, Drew Rosenhaus never loses. Never loses with a client. Good afternoon to all. This will be a very enlightening show. And by the way, I'm still looking for the time of yesterday's show when we said that there was movement on Carter's deal at 4 years, 37.5. Kyle, we got to find that code stamp on the time we said that. I thought it was before Zander or before maybe Angelo that there was movement, and there was definitely movement. By the way, real quick, super chats go to the top, and also please hit the like button. I will say this to you. This is my 39th year as training camp starts between playing and covering teams. Bucks 2, Cowboys 2, Lions as a player. Here are the other teams: Bucks, Jags, Dolphins, Raiders, Cowboys, Chargers, and Niners are the teams that we've covered, and we've seen it all. And today, don't ever let it be said that the Eagles are ever going to be on the second page of the sports page. They end up getting their deal done with Jalen Carter, and as I've said a million times, Drew Rosenhaus never loses. He got exactly what he wanted. We said yesterday, 4 years, 37.5. That's where they were kind of floating around. Now, hang on. We're going to get that. Big Sil, so is this a bad contract extension? Hang in there. I'll tell you exactly. Eat up, Sills. Eat up what? What everyone else was saying? Eat what up? Okay? And by the way, if you were in here yesterday, you heard me say that they were working and there was movement. So, all that being said, now on the guaranteed contracts, the guaranteed money, and it's a pretty damn good deal here. So, we're going to get to the numbers. So, I'm happy the deal is done. I wouldn't be Tampa Bay right now with Vita Vea wanting out. No question about it. So, let's go over to the numbers here and what he's getting. And you got to look at the guaranteed cash here and what is being paid out. So he's getting $38 million annually, making him the highest paid defensive tackle. It's a $152 million contract extension worth up to $160, including $106 million in guarantees. Now, Jeffrey Simmons got $100 million. So over 3 years, he's going to make $33 million guaranteed money over the next 3 years. Carter is going to make 26 over 4. They wanted the 4th year. So in essence, you're kind of not really paying what the market value is in guarantees. They got a deal in guarantees here a little bit. That's where kind of how he won a little bit here when it came to the guaranteed cash. And because Simmons' deal is shorter and the guaranteed money is worth more. However, again, there's no question that Drew Rosenhaus won this argument here. He was not going to let his football. By the way, they were not going to let the football player go into the season without this contract extension. Yes, Sills, looks like your Jalen narrative didn't work. Who's next? Go ahead and start eating your crow. No. Bro, I don't feel bad about this. I'm not the only one that said that they should have waited. What are you talking about? Hey, good luck too, by the way. The 58th best defensive tackle just made the highest money in the NFL. We'll see what he does. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. You gave him the money. Congratulations. For the 112th best run stopper and the 58th best overall DT. I hope he steps up this year. That's not changed, dude. Hey, Marshall, he sucked last year. I hope he plays great. I do. He sucked. And you gave him the money. Okay, let's see what happens. That's not changed. He sucked last year. And we'll see what happens. That's not and hasn't changed at all. That has not. Police appreciate it, Khalid. Now, you've got a ton of money wrapped up into two players. Okay? As a matter of fact, that middle of that defensive line a year ago underachieved. Davis played well. We'll see. He was still 22nd against the run. He was hurt last year, and you know it. He was hurt. Well, that's part of it, Marshall. Marshall, that's part of it. So wait a minute. You're telling me there was no surgery, Marshall? Cooked what? Your boy's got to step up and play, guy. That's not changed. How is that changed? You think because you gave the guy the money, that's fucking changed? Based on what? Hey, and by the way, Zander said something great today on Birds 365. If this guy was so hurt, where was the surgery? That guy have surgery at all? Any procedure on his shoulders? Or was it just rest? What contract and what surgery did he have that he was hurt, Marshall? What was the big surgery? Eating crow on what? He hasn't played it down yet. Dude, what are you talking about? You don't know what he's going to play like this year. Hey, dude, $160 million in guarantees. Yeah, that's the money you're looking at. And the fourth year. No question. So let me tell you if I think it's a good deal or not. You're completely gambling that the football player is going to be that guy. Because last year he wasn't that guy. The year before he was, and the year before that was his first year. So you're still in a wait-and-see mode on what he's going to be and how he's going to play. You're betting on two things with these two tackles. That Jordan Davis can become a three-down player and that Jalen Carter can be consistent like Q and like Cooper DeJean. It's a complete gamble. You're gambling on the talent. And the Eagles obviously must feel comfortable with it, or they wouldn't have done this. I want to wait and see what and how that fifth-year contract extension is going to play into the contract and how they're going to roll that in. Nothing's changed. Whether or not the guy gets the money or not has nothing to do with his performance. He's coming off of a down year. And we'll see what type of leader he is this coming season. Nothing has changed. Not one thing has changed on how he'll play this year. Not one thing. And by the way, I wasn't the only one that said that the Eagles should wait. Everybody in Philadelphia said it. Talk shit to me like that. I'm not eating crow on one fucking thing, guy. I said the deal wouldn't get done, and it got done, yeah, because Rosenhaus won. It'll work out long-term is different discussion. Hey, I have no problem with my stance, and I hold 1,000% behind it. Would I have given him the contract? No. I think it's a mistake. I wanted to see him play. Is it a good deal? Yes. I think it's a mistake. I want to see the guy show up. You got him? Let's see what happens. I think it's a 1,000% mistake that you extended that guy off that year. Good luck to you. Nothing's changed. What? You think because you gave him a contract extension, that's changing my position? We don't do that here. No. Here is the narrative. According to you, Williams is light years ahead of Carter. He is. So Dallas will have to pay him 40 plus per year. So you're going to ask Mark the tough questions tomorrow. It'll be here for that too. I'll be here for that too. Quinnen Williams is a better football player. He's a better football player. Thank you, Marsh. Hey, Marshall, I think the Eagles giving Jalen Carter a contract extension is the wrong move. Good luck to you. Let's see how he plays. Okay? I mean, once again, I think it's a bad deal that you extended this guy. Quit sills washing history. I think this is, without a doubt, a bad deal. No, Crow. Bad deal. You signed him. Let's see what he does. Coming off a year where you were 112th in run defense and 58th overall, and you gave the guy the highest paid contract, and you gave the other guy 3-down DT money. Okay, let's see how well you play, because you didn't play well against the run last year. I would have waited. Unfortunately, you didn't. So now, let's see how 2026 plays out. Do I think it's a great deal for Carter? You bet I do. Drew Rosenhaus, kudos to you. You beat Howie. Got your 4 years, and you changed the market. You won. You're going to eat crow, and I'm going to feed it to. Bad deal, Marsh. Bad deal. You feel comfortable giving somebody a contract based on that year a year ago? Okay. All good. You think I was going to waver because the guy signed a contract or he's going to? We shall see. Hope he plays better against the run this year. Eagles are ahead of the curve. What do you mean? You got beat. You got beat in contract negotiations. Drew got exactly what he wanted. Bad deal? Yeah, I would have waited a year. Saw how he played. You know what's crazy? They gave a guy with all that shit and baggage his contract extension, but you wouldn't give your quarterback a contract extension first. Put that in your hat. Think about that for a second. Guy who spits on a quarterback. Guy who, and by the way, like I said, I don't remember any big-time surgery in this offseason that Jalen Carter had. How serious was the injury? How serious was Carter's injury that you don't need surgery? I mean, what are we talking about here? So he had sore shoulders? Jesus criminy, at least Cam Jurgens was on the slab and having back surgery when he got his contract. Man, congrats, Eagle fans, for getting Carter done. You just made it harder, though, for you to be able to sign with and Cooper now, depending on how he constructed the contract. You can't pay everyone. Carter and Davis are the key to the defense. Congrats. Guys, let's go get another one on this season. Fly, Eagle, fly. Let's see here. You swinging the goal, we agree with you that Jalen Carter will get paid. You said the man would demand a trade. He would have. This is about how much the contract is. This is about we told you he would get paid. Again, I think you made a mistake. What are you not hearing? I would have waited a year. What are you not hearing? Is there something in your ears, Marsh? What are you not hearing? Hey, you feel comfortable paying that guy market-changing money coming off of that shit year? No problem. We will find out. Hey, by the way, say goodbye to Mauro Ajomo now. Bye, Mauro. You're going into the land of Milton Williams. Bye. This already assures that Mauro Ajomo is history. Bye. Bye, Morrow. Bye, Morrow and Jomo. Seals, did Drew win if they had to add a bunch of incentives to get him to the average annual he wanted? I want to see what the contract looks like. Again, that won't come out for another 2 days. It's got to go through NFLPA and the lawyers to certify the contract. All that stuff is agent shit that's being sent to Adam Schefter. Funny, Adam Schefter can break that story about a contract, but he can't break a story about Kyle Shanahan being in a massive accident that almost killed the head coach of the 49ers. These people are fucking disgusting. You think it's better for me saying that I wanted to wait and see how he played this year before I gave him a contract extension? Guy, stop moaning. You never liked the Jomo anyway. Not true. If we let Carter go, we are stupid. If we sign a Jomo, Sills will question. I want to see how you're going to pay 4 guys $30 million or north of $25 million. That's all. You've got 3 guys now on your front 7 that you're making over $25 million between Jonathan Grenard, Jordan Davis, and now with Jalen Carter. You've got 3 guys making over $25 million. Like you said, can't pay them all. You can't pay all your old linemen like that. That's why the right guard is interchangeable. Carter will not have a cap hit of over $12 million until 29. Simmons got $100 million guaranteed from the Titans for 3 years. Carter getting $106 for 4. Yeah, comes out to $33.3 million for Simmons over 3 and $26 million, I believe it was, for Carter. Me, I want the 4th year. That 4th year matters. Okay? That 4th years matter. Okay? This was Sills all 2026 offseason. The Eagles will never pay a defense. The defense will always be, well, it's the lowest paid defense in the National Football League in 26. You haven't ever played defense. $50 million off the books when Howie gets rid of the bum quarterback. Isn't it funny? Hey, Spurger, they gave the DT the money, but not the quarterback. Who asked for it? Crazy, right? Up to 160. There's like incentives in there to get him to 160. You said Rosenhaus wouldn't let him play. It was true. They weren't going to let him play. He got his deal. Drew won. What are you not getting on that? Drew Rosenhaus won. What are you not getting on that? Drew got what he wanted. What and why are you like not? Why are you not understanding that? I'm just curious. How are you not getting that? Let's see here. Is there always a new thing to shit on? I'm not. If I have an opinion that I think that the Eagles should have waited on whether or not he was going to be productive this year is a bad thing. So wait a minute. 99% of the people in here and around Philly were saying the Eagles are doing the right thing. But today, because they signed him, I'm shitting on them. So throughout the entire offseason, everybody was on board with that. Now, they're flip-flopping. I'm not. I'm not flip-flopping on this. I want to see him play. What are you not getting? Boy, I got to tell you, you guys thought that I was going to change my position because they signed him? That I wouldn't have waited? You got the wrong show, my friends. Drew run on salary. Howie won on guarantees on the years. I think so. Howie's going to save $12 million on market. Yeah. So I think he saves a little money there. Because if you think about it, annually, Simmons has got a better guaranteed deal. However, I'll take the fourth year and a little less on the guarantee. And I'll take that. Dude, that fourth year, that's why Phillips is no longer playing for you. Howie didn't want to give the fourth year up to Jalen Phillips. Eagles win if Carter plays to his full. Yes. Yes. Okay? Yes. Let's see here. Seals, do you know anything about Michael Lombardi down in Carolina? No, I don't know what's going on with that. And don't take this for, I heard it was something of a misconduct thing inside the front office. Don't go down that lane, though, Kim. I'm not dead sure. Okay? There's a positive side to this move. Don't have to change your position, but don't act like the positives are not existent. What's the positive? That you've got the kid signed for years, along with Jordan Davis. That's a positive, for sure. Absolutely, for sure. I'm talking about production. And by the way, like I said yesterday, we told you there was movement on it. If the Cowboys did the same deal, Eagle fans would have said that Jerry panicked. Funny how when it's your guy, it's a great deal. Jalen and LeBron can have their farewell tour in Philadelphia together. Like I said, I would have waited. But they really theoretically couldn't wait. Seals, you think it's coincidence? The three best GMs, Howie, Schneider, Veach, invest in DTs, not in the edge position. Yes. I've said it for 3 years. You don't need to have a great edge. You need to have a competent edge. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. No doubt. Sills, if Carter balls out and someone resets the market after the deal Carter just made, wouldn't they have to pay Carter way more next year? They have, yes. And I think that's the majority of what the people thought was going to happen, was that they were going to pay, as John McMullen calls, the Jerry Jones tax. And Drew Rosenhaus won the argument. Bro, that just shows you right there with that contract getting done. Carter had no intention of playing and practicing in camp until that deal was getting done. Okay? Let's see here. Let's see. Sills, what do you think of Vita Vea wanting a trade? Philly 500 will have him coming to Philly by tonight. Vita Vea wants to play in Vegas or with the Seahawks. That's kind of where he played his college ball. I think it was at either Oregon or Utah. And I think he wants to go back to the West Coast. Plus, after what Davis got, it's not so much what Carter got, it's what Davis got. He doesn't want to play in Tampa Bay. So I'm not here to troll like everyone else. I don't care if they're trolling. You still got to play. My question, will this affect Q and Coop's deals? I'd rather have money for those two. I don't think so. Because you're not going to pay Moro Jomo. Okay? Seals, you think the 49ers trade 2-5 for Vita? They have a deep defense. So do the Giants. Boy, the Giants getting Vita Vea. That'd be something interesting. The coaching consistency makes the Carter and Davis sign. Guys, what else does the Carter and Davis sign signify to you? What do you think the Carter and Davis signing signifies? Something we told you 2 years ago. What do you think it signifies? Not Hurts is gone. No. There you go. Clint Hurt will be your defensive coordinator when Vic steps down. That's your new DC. That's for Clint. That's going to be the transition. Clint Hurt is going to be your defensive coordinator. And by the way, if you think about it, since Clint Hurt has showed up, Jordan Davis is a different player. Report came out today that Vita wants to play for a California team. I definitely think it's the Niners. Wow, would that really help? Seals, would Philly get something out of Ajomo instead of letting him walk? Or just have him play the year out for depth? I wonder if we get DT3 production out of someone else. Yeah, you know what this is going to be? This is going to be a huge camp for Ty Robinson to show he can play. Because he's supposed to be the heir apparent and be able to play. This is the camp of Ty Robinson. Ty Robinson hasn't showed he can play yet. Hurt has DC. How does he feel for Nolan Smith? Morrow, those guys most likely gone. Well, let's see how it plays out, and let's see how much the salary cap goes up. Okay, you got to, remember something. The wild card in the cap is going to be the gambling money. So keep an eye on that. So, listen, Moro Jomo is all more than likely gone. However, let's see what the money looks like March 18th when they set the cap. Once again, I want to walk back and say one thing here. Look, Drew Rosen, here's my position on this. Rosenhaus won. He got the 4th year. He got the 37.5. I would have waited. Because personally, I didn't like what I saw a year ago. Now, all that being said, they've got the guy inked down for the 4 years. 4 years now. You got Carter and Davis locked up. Okay. Let's see. How did they win? Drew got exactly what he wanted. He reset the market, and he got the 4th year. Off a bad year. Hey, wait a minute. He said the Eagles won. So Drew Rosenhaus got a 4-year market-setting contract with a player that was the 112th best player against the run and 58th overall best D tackle. And he says the Eagles won. All right. Okay. Drew Rosenhaus is the Howie Roseman of agents. Hey, by the way, Drew gets his guys paid. I told you this. He doesn't fucking not win. Rosenhaus never loses. And you're paying for potential. Yes, you're still paying for potential. Drew only got him $4 million more a year in guarantees than a 2-down Jordan Davis. Oh, they definitely got a deal in the guaranteed contract. The guarantees are not what I thought. I thought he was going to get $120 million in guaranteed contract. Howie kind of saved money. The Eagles saved money on guarantees, for sure. Simmons makes more annually. Listen, the real money's the guarantees, not worth up to. Always look at the real money and the year. The real money and the year, that's the real contract. And him getting that fourth year is big. Every player wants the fourth year because you don't have to move, you don't have to do shit. Drew didn't get what he wanted. He wanted a fifth year. He did. He wanted a fifth year option. Holy shit. They're baking in the fifth year option that they picked up, dickhead. Oh my God. Seals, if Ty Robinson ends up being a little bit productive, do you think Howie might trade him? We're going to talk about that a little bit before the trading deadline. I actually think maybe before camp, he could be a candidate. We'll see. Lane, Dickerson, and Juergens will most likely be here through 27. Their contracts alone with Barkley will be money for our defense. Smitty and maybe Hurts. Let's see here. Carter's fourth year is for 26. Fifth year option is $28 million. Let's see here. So I wonder what the incentives will be for him. Me too. I want to see that and how that is going to. That contract will come out and there'll be more of the language in the contract because the Players Association will make it public. And so that'll be 2 days from now. It's got to go through Park Avenue. It's got to go through the NFL lawyers, and then it's got to go through the Players Association lawyers. And then it'll be made public in what incentives that will be baked into this contract and how they've structured that fifth-year option in there, if they did. Depending how this pans out, the rest of the league might shift to trying to build two great DTs rather than overpaying for edge. Also, you got to think of something else that's important here in this conversation. Why would Vic want two DTs paid like that? Well, your linebacking core is going to be a direct result of the players in front of you. You got shitty DTs in front of you. I don't care if you have Ray Lewis behind them. You're not going to win. That helps the middle of your defense. Look at what they did. Okay? This year. Look at what they did. They signed two defensive tackles. They got Campbell they drafted a year ago. Bond's an all-pro. Up the middle, you've got Cooper. They're moving him the middle. And they're hoping that this kid, Makuba, can play. Look how strong you are up the middle. You're actually weaker on the edges. Not tremendous. I'm not talking about being a step. And by the way, John McMullen is fucking high if he thinks that defensive skill on the Eagles is more talented than the Texans. You're out of your mind. That Texans defense is all pros on every level. And I'm talking about sensational talent, along with a gifted guy himself in D'Amico Ryans. That's the best defense in football. And by the way, it's not close. Their two corners are exceptional. Their edge rushers are exceptional. Donnell Hunter and Will Anderson, you don't have that on your football team. They're great up the middle. That's a great football team defensively. Now, I don't think they have the balance on offense that you guys do. And I think you have a better roster. Let's see here. Let's see. Bond having to babysit Campbell affected his play. We're going to make a comment about Jod Campbell here in a minute. Ray Lewis is still paying off the booked a 3.5-month vacation starting September and sold my tickets. Looking forward to Burrow 27. Good luck suffering with Sills guy. Who's that? Carter's now the highest paid edge eat out. He's not an edge. He's a DT kid. Congratulations. You paid him. Okay. Now go play. Hey, nothing's changed. Now you're all in on a guy who didn't play well last year, who, in my opinion, babied them injuries. So you're telling me he's the only guy in Philadelphia Eagle history that didn't get a surgery in the offseason? And then he got what? Plasma shots? You know what plasma shots are? Nothing. They're like Novocaine shots. Dude, let's see how he plays. He's got the ability to beat Jerome Brown. I've not changed that. Hey, and by the way, he didn't have a surgery. Landon's had 13 surgeries since he played at Florida State and Alabama and the Eagles. Cam went through surgeries. Everybody that had significant injuries has had some type of surgery. He didn't. Rest was his good thing. All right. Sure. So is any chance the Carter deal is going to limit our ability to pay? I don't know how that's going to play out yet in 27 with the cap and how much the cap is going to go up. I don't know. Okay? You're solidified for the next 4 years. You've got players that like playing next to one another. They're in a scheme that they have fit in. You've got one of the best defensive coordinators in the history of the game. And by the way, one thing on Vic, I do agree. Vic is a defensive coordinator. But, I mean, the guy in Kansas City has got 4 Super Bowl rings on 2 different teams. I mean, Spags is a hell of a coordinator himself. And you've got, without a question, you've got players that you're starting to handpick. Carter, Davis, Q, and Cooper are going to be the centerpieces of your defense. And they're hoping Campbell turns out to be that. I want to show you something that's really awesome for the Eagle defense. Okay? 1, 2, and then on the other side, let me think. Tell me if I'm wrong on this. Out of your starting 22, corner, edge, and linebacker, 3. On offense, your third wide receiver and your running back are the only 2 mercenaries. You got 5 mercenaries out of 22 is fucking unreal. 5 people that were not drafted by the Eagles are in your starting 22. Do you know how low that number is? Look at Chicago, or look at San Francisco, or look at any team that's in the NFL. 5 players out of your starting 22. The majority of the football players that you have on your roster are homegrown guys. That's fabulous. Jod Campbell will be fine. The kid did nothing wrong last year. Just a Ricky moment like when we drafted Carter. He was in and out due to Fletcher. Listen, Campbell getting put on the bench by Vic. Vic doesn't play favorites. He plays the best guy. You know where I'm going to say something too here? Hey, man, I got a feeling that this kid Jeremiah Trotter is going to fight for playing time. I'm not saying he's beating Campbell out in any way, stretch of the imagination. I'm not saying that. But I do think that guy's going to play for. And if he has a great camp like he did a year ago, which he had a great camp last year, and he plays like that again, he's going to demand playing time. That's a good thing. That creates tremendous depth on your linebacking core. And get this, because if Davis and Carter do excel this year, the linebacking play on the football team might be the best unit in football. If those two guys play to the best of their ability, the ability for the linebackers to make more open field tackles and play more in space is going to be off the charts great. There is so much upside. Now, look, again, I think the Eagles should have waited. However, the upside on the unit alone is fabulous. It's fabulous. How much more is Vic going to stay? Maybe 2 more. You know what? This might make him want to stay 3 more years now to see how this thing plays out. And by the way, yes, I agree. It'll help the edges as well. Yes. She says, I know it might put you in a spot. What does Clint think about the deal? I know Clint, listen, guys like Vic Fangio and Clint Hurt, they don't give a shit about the money. That's for guys upstairs. That's not their lane. Bob, when you're a great coach like that, you try to worry about things that matter more to how you go about your business every day. You can't worry about shit like that. That's why they have front offices. And coaches don't like to see their favorite players go. Okay? Now, you know, they're going to get input from those guys. Hey, what do you think of this player? What do you think of that player? How well has he played? Okay? Coaches are worried about culture, not pockets. Yes, that's a great take. I think the same thing about Trotter. I've said it the minute he drafted him. I wasn't sure because I'll tell you, Kim, he was slow. I thought he was slow at Clemson. I didn't really think that he had great foot speed. But he's starting to command more attention. That's turning out to be a pretty good draft pick. Campbell first year, he was going through growing pains. Trot would too. Yeah, well, you know what though, Twiz? I didn't think Campbell had massive gaps in his play. I didn't think that. I sure did. 4.8 40 coming out of college. And Nolan is a schwimp. Guy can't stay healthy. Hard to say Zach had to babysit. I don't think he babysat him. I think Campbell has a higher ceiling, but I think there's a fall off from Dean. I think you're going to have more versatility out of Campbell. I think that kid Monday can play. Hit the like button, guys. Thank you very much, Wayne. Says Trotter growth will push Bond, not Campbell. Probably so. Well, remember something you got to worry about, Bob, with Campbell. You're going to be upping volume of play. And he hasn't played 1,000 snaps. That's a lot, dude, to go through your body. Okay? That's a lot. You go from playing 400 snaps to 1,000. That's a whole different world, dude. Your production falls off. Everyone assumes that if you get more reps, you're going to make more plays. That's not how that works. That's more attrition. that you got to get your body in shape for. I personally don't see much in Campbell. Plays too loosey-goosey. I don't feel that way. I think that guy's good in coverage. I think he's got to get a little bit better in the run defense. And I'm sorry, I disagree with people who say that Nakobe Dean didn't improve the defensive run game. And quite frankly, I personally blame the defensive tackle play in the Chicago game. The two tackles got destroyed. They were destroyed in that game. So if your tackles are getting destroyed in front of you, your linebackers have no – figure this out. In that Chicago game, you want to blame the Nakobe Dean? How can you blame the Nakobe Dean when your D-lines get knocked a yard off the ball? Do you understand what that does? When you knock your defensive line a yard off the ball, your backers have to step back. So before you make first contact with the line or with a player coming through the line of scrimmage, it's almost 3.5 yards deep. If your D-line's not playing well in front of you, like I said, I don't care if you have Ray Lewis there. You're going to get destroyed. Let's be real here. Why do people think Dean was so much better than Campbell? Our run defense was terrible with him starting. That's the truth. Carter being 100% and Davis keeps improving like he's done each year. Forget who's at safety, Sills. The front seven will give the secondary days off. That's the theory. That's the theory. Sills, would Jimmy Johnson have given Carter his contract? Yes, because you know why, Kim? Carter wouldn't have spit and done all that dumb shit and would have been better prepared to play last year. He wouldn't have been like that a year ago under Jimmy. There's a different sense of being prepared when you played for Coach Johnson than when you play for Nick. Jimmy was nobody's friend. Jimmy didn't want to be anybody's friend. He just wanted you to play. Show up on time. Spags couldn't even hold a quarterback. You tell us can't pass yet. Hold on for a second, Cody. So wait a minute. You tell me every freaking day in here about how much going to a Super Bowl matters and winning Super Bowls matter. And Steve Spagnuolo has 4 Super Bowl rings as a defensive coordinator in 2 different places. And I guess that doesn't matter for him, though, right? Only for Hurts. Yeah, okay. Seals, out of all the receivers, who's getting cut? What do you think you're keeping? 5? Smith, Lemon, Wicks, Brown. Smith, Lemon, Wicks, Brown. There's 4. Who would be your 5th? Stowers. No, he's tied in. It's going to come down to Wilson or Elijah Moore. Darius Cooper. Those 3 guys are fighting for the 5th and final spot. If I were to pick, I might keep Johnny Wilson because he can block. Player take personality from a head coach. Not sure what that means, but okay. Did you all make sure to rotate Sills what? Rotate what? What everyone else was saying? Fucking stupid. Oh, and by the way, go play now. One more time, guy. I think they should have waited. It's funny. Everyone's now commenting on the deal. It's a great deal. It's this and that. It's this and that. Well, do you really believe that you would have done that? Would you? Now you're going to flip-flop? How many people said the Eagles are doing the right thing by waiting? Now you're going to flip-flop? Not me. Not me. Sills, our roster salary situation is about the flip-flop and how he leads. A lot to be desired when drafting those offensive outside of the line. I'll tell you what he's done, though. I'll tell you, which is very important on building a team. His ability to get these linemen and stay inside the phone booth. I mean, he's staying in the phone booth. Line. Dude, Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell are fabulous players. I don't care about that. Line. O-line, D-line. Big dudes beating little dudes up. Physical people beating physical people up. You got to have that. And they have made, without a doubt, a huge commitment to that. Look at this. I'm going to show you something here, what you've done, which is pretty cool. So you got what? You got about $55 million between your two OTs. Now what you have is, what do you got? 37 and 25? You got $62 million between your two DTs. And between your left guard and your center, you got another $40 million. The majority of your salary cap, you got 40 with your left guard and your center, 55 with your OTs. That's 95. And your two defensive tackles, you got 62. That's $157 million baked into your lines on a 301 cap. Half your salary cap is in the lines. Leon put a super up. Did we get that, Z? Leon, you had a super? We'll get to it, dude. I promise. Sills, wait, would waiting to pay Carter would have looked like? Hold out of shape, not practicing, trade request, fined. They love Carter. It's a risk, but one Howie's willing to bet on. No doubt. And he did. We'll see how that plays out. Leon, did I miss one? Let me go back here and see if I can find it here. Here we go. Reports from New England is that AJ is complaining they aren't throwing the ball. Apparently, Vrabel went off on AJ too. May was 3 for 10 today and 1 interception to AJ. I'm sure he's going to suck, Leon. Is Philly a defensive organization or offensive? Well, I think, hey, let me ask you something, Martin. Isn't it funny what Vic has done and what good coaching does? The offense is heading the other way, and you're making all these changes. People are getting paid on defense. The defense is going forward. Just shows you what good coaching does. You think there's a coincidence to that? Your best coaches are on defense. And now those guys are getting paid. Why? You got Clint Hurt, you got Bobby King, you got Vic Fangio. You think there's any coincidence? All these guys are now getting paid on defense. I mean, your offense is going the other way. Guys are getting older, question marks. Yet your defensive players are now going to the bank. Now making money. I mean, surely you see what good coaching does. Like, since the team was established, I think more D. Seals, it Seals, it ain't 2012. Spags never had a number one defense. He won a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs 3 years ago. What are you talking about? When was the last time the Chiefs won a Super Bowl? Let's see. The last time the Chiefs won a Super Bowl. Was it 2023? What was it? They beat the 49ers in the 2024 Super Bowl. 23 season. The fuck are you talking about? 2012. Was that just made up? Paul! JC, brother, we a quarterback away from a dynasty, Sills. Chef Howie's cooking. Let the brother work. Howie vision. Go figure, right? Nick was brought in for this offensive skill, so they think OC's revolving door and okay with it. If they bring in an OC that's seasoned, he'll threaten Nick's job. They love Nick. See? This is why he's a Hall of Famer. Lane has only given up 20 sacks in his 13-year career. And 10 came in the first season. Hey, dude, that's not only fabulous, but that's like special. Seals, they put Lombardi on leave for violating affirmative action, equal opportunity policy at the university. The only reason why I ask is it because he's a great organizational. Hey, if that's the truth, affirmative action. Well, Lombardi was hiring probably the people that he thought would help North Carolina win. And they probably broke some violation where they had to interview people like the Rooney Rule. Like I've told you before, Kim, I want the best person at the job. Sills, last 30 years on defense, we have had Spags, Rivera, McDermott, Bowles, Leslie Frazier, and now Fangio guys. Hey, dude, Vic Fangio is phenomenal. And much of his, by the way, do you know where the cover 2 comes from? Do you guys know where that cover 2 comes from? Do you know where that cover 2 comes from? That 2-eye safety? What? Do you know what the foundation of the cover 2-eye safety is? There you go. It's Tampa 2. Tony Dungy and Monty Kiffin put that defensive style in. Wasn't Vic. The Tampa 2 cover 2-eye safety. That's exactly what Tampa 2 is. So when people say that, what are you saying, Tony Dungy copied Vic? He invented the Tampa 2 in Minnesota. And then he took it down to Tampa. I don't know what the fuck. What are you talking about? For the players that have to get paid next offseason, Howie might do something unprecedented and pay Hurts during the year. Maybe. Yes. That's correct. And Dungy got that from the Steel Curtain and Bud Carson. Correct. That's exactly where that's where the 2-eye safety all comes from. Because they were very aggressive in the front 7 because they could be with Mean Joe Green and those guys. And they were a little softer because they had Mel Blount back there because he was patrolling the middle of the zone. I'm waiting on Brandon to take his victory lap on me about Carter's contract, too. Hey, Drew won. Drew won that deal, dude. Rosenhaus always wins. I've never seen that guy get beat. He's like undefeated and getting his clients represented. Well, Sue, both sides won? Okay. So wait a minute. What do you think? That's a great question, Sue. Sue, what do you think is more of a gamble? Carter coming off of a bad year or Rosenhaus getting his contract? I mean, you think they both won. With all the questions that everyone had on Carter going into the year. And by the way, I want to show you something that's going to happen over the next 2 days. Everybody's going to have amnesia about everyone saying that they should have waited and they agreed with the Eagles and Howie on not extending him until the offseason. But you know what people will have? They'll have amnesia. And they won't have the balls to stick to their initial takes and say, I would have waited. Instead, they'll gloss over it and they'll start glazed owning it, going, oh my God, Ramon, the deal. And again, they'll flip-flop. We'll see. Again, everybody is going to have amnesia. Okay? They will. Everyone we talk to will have amnesia. I never said that. Okay. And then they'll make some bullshit up. Thank you. Now I know I'm right. I still have my concern with Carter, but if he got the contract, my suspicions about his shoulder must have been wrong, right? Yeah, I guess. And all those excuses you made for his bad play couldn't have been that hurt. The Eagles just gave him $38 million. So all that bullshit you guys just said about his injuries to his shoulders, that couldn't have been true. They paid him. So it must not have been a concern. He just played bad. He didn't have surgery. How do you give me that take? Well, he didn't have surgery. They gave him the contract, and they don't have any concerns about him being hurt. And yet the entire offseason on how people told me Carter coming off a bad year was based on injury. So the Eagles had no concern on that? Is that what you're now saying? That's flip-flopping. So now you're saying, wait a minute. That's actually a great take, Rasputin. So wait a minute. So was he hurt or not? Was he hurt or not? Or did he just play bad? He didn't have surgery. The Eagles don't have any concern. Made up bullshit? I agree. I mean, okay, so wait. Mello, yes, he was hurt. So the Eagles have no concern off of an injury of a year ago and him not playing well to give him that contract. You have no concern over that. Fair enough. To miss games? Name me an Eagle that missed ball games in the Sirianni era that didn't need surgery. Like who? Lane missed half the season and had surgery. Cam had surgery in the offseason. Landon had 2 procedures done last year. Hamstring is not a surgery. Hurts had a surgery? When was that? Shoulder. He missed 2 games. So now your position is, well, I'm not concerned that because the Eagles aren't concerned about his injuries a year ago. Okay. So now you flipped on that. What are you talking about? Bro, you said this, Drew. The reason he played poorly a year ago was because of the shoulder injury. That's why he played poorly. He didn't get any offseason surgeries. That plasma thing is dumb. He just needed rest. The Eagles are not concerned about it. They gave him a brand new contract extension. What are you talking about? You don't have any concerns coming off a shitty year? Okay. We'll find out how 26 plays out. I'm not sure what you're not seeing. And by the way, I don't care if you don't see what we're saying here, because that means you don't want to see it. Howard Eskin will join us at 4:30, Big Z at the bottom of the hour. Carter better get ready to play as many snaps as he did in 24. How he's going to get every penny out of that new contract. Jalen Hurts didn't have surgery on his MCL, and that was because now they are not to go to surgery with MCLs. I think so. I think you're right. And meniscus injuries as well. Carter had shoulder pain going into camp last year and then had injections midseason, so it couldn't have been lingering issues from 24. Okay? You don't risk losing a player or having to pay more for a player for that caliber. There are a few DTs in the league that can change a game, and he's one of them. He didn't do dick last year. He didn't do anything last year. He was a dude. You thought he played well last year? I don't ever remember watching the guy in Kansas City play shitty. Chris Jones never plays bad. I never see Cam Hayward playing shitty. I've never seen those guys. And I've never seen those guys play shitty. Dude, stop. He won the Rams game. No, he did not win the Rams. Oh, 2 years ago, yes. Last year was Jordan Davis. Hater? No, I'm being consistent. I would have. Oh, wait a minute. Joseph, are you one now changing too? 99% of Eagle fans said the Eagles were in the right to wait. Now you're going to glaze it. They signed him because Drew won. Talk about fucking not staying to your cause. I want to see what the guy does this year, and I'll hold to that. Not as well as the year prior, but that could have been due to the lingering injury. Well, dude, the Eagles have no concerns over it. They just basically washed that last year away like it never happened because they extended him. In their eyes, they have no issues. with Carter at all. All those things that people were talking about in the offseason with that contract extension, all the things you were talking about, the Eagles now have put that aside. So all the things you were saying that the Eagles were right, going into camp, M. Reyes was saying the whole time he believed they would do it potentially mid-season. All that stuff now goes away because now you're trying to change history. All right. We're sticking to our guns. I would have waited. You signed him. We move forward. Shields, do you think can be our Coop can be another version of Malcolm Jenkins playing slot and safety? Malcolm Jenkins is a freaking hell of a player, and Cooper's a hell of a player. Shields, how do you think Quentin Williams is taking the Carter deal? Very happily. Let me see, by the way, who represents Quentin Williams. Now, he's an older player. Look at Jeffrey Simmons' rankings last year. He was the number one player of 134 interior tackles as a pass rusher. As a run defender, Simmons was 23rd. He was third overall defensive grade among defensive tackles in the National Football League. His pass rushing production, he had 64 total pressures a year ago. He was ranked the best defensive tackle interior-wise in pro football a year ago. Sucks he plays on a shitty team. Let me see who represents Quentin Williams. Who reps Quentin Williams? Nicole Lynn, Clutch Sports. Whew. Wow. Clutch Sports represents him. How old is he? Wow, is that going to be a tough negotiation? He's 28. He's going to get a bag. Hey, DFW, he's going to reset the market. Jerry and Steven already said today Quentin Williams' new deal is a high priority, even more now after the Carter deal. He's going to get $40 million. Quentin Williams is going to reset the market. He'll get that deal. Being 28, oh yeah, maybe 38.5, something like that. I don't know if they want to touch 40, but that's going to be an enormous contract as well. Why do you need to do this and get your muscle up? And why? Because I'm staying consistent with what I said about wanting to see him play this year? Sorry, kid. I'm just being consistent. I'm not going to rewrite my history. Sills, what are the three things you're looking for in day one at camp? I would say this to you. Don't look at day one. Look at week one. Okay? Look at week one. And more so than anything, look at the offense. The defense is in good hands with the coaching. You got better coaching over there. You got easily one of the best coaching staffs in all of the NFL on defense. You don't have a very good offensive coaching staff on the offensive side. You've got experienced players that have been there, seen it, and done it. The players have been through more than the coaching staff outside of the head coach and the wide receiver coach. The rest of that crew have done nothing and accomplished nothing. O-line coaches accomplished nothing. OC's accomplished nothing. The passing game coordinator has accomplished nothing. On defense, that whole crew has accomplished so much. number one overall defense, a Super Bowl, have been to 2 NFC championships. They've been through it. That side of the football is by far one of the best and most experienced defensive coaching staffs in all the NFL. Seals, what are the three things? Okay, let's see here. Dak been overpaid for like 5 years now. Well, dude, every quarterback that's in the top 10. Okay? What are you changing your history again, Prince? Let me guess. You're good with it, right? All that shit you were talking about, signing him prior to camp and the Eagles in the right. What are you doing? Changing your history? Of course you are. Robert Sala's a great coach. How are these players getting these contracts after having a down year? I truly don't understand. Guess the Eagles are getting it done early. Okay? Okay? Listen, like I said, Drew, here's once again my takeaway. Drew won. Wanted his player to have a contract before the start of camp. Got it done. How he got a break, I think, on the guaranteed contract money. Drew got the 4th year. Okay? And here's something else. Obviously, the Eagles had no concerns over the injuries in 2025. You gave him a 4-year deal, not a 3-year deal, a 4-year deal. So all of that talk about him being hurt a year ago played no mind to the Eagles' contract talks. Played nothing into it. Zero. He just played a bad year and was injured. Not severely. Enough to have a surgery. Let's see. Oh, yeah. 2025 injury conversation had no bearing. So all that stuff you talked about, him playing poorly last year, him being hurt. Now, 2 things can be true. He could have been sore, not to a significant point where, again, I've really never seen guys miss games based on soreness. But okay, I guess. So he just had a bad year. It's the next man up mentality. Got to pay Kyler, Tua, Trevor, or start over. Unfortunately, those teams didn't win a Super Bowl within the rookie window. That's correct. That's how that works. That's right. They're talking about it. You imagine him playing next to the kid from Wake Forest, and you have him there next to Myles Garrett. I don't think he has to play 700 snaps. Put him in there for 400 snaps. Put him in there on 3rd down. So is Jalen Hurts' contract coming? All that, 5-1 in division round. Wow. Kobe Turner's a hell of a player. With all that whining and bitching through Carter's team, he better play up to the contract. K Dunn? Yep. Hey, K Dunn, nothing's changed. Except that the Eagles are now pushed their chips in. They're in on it. They're gambling. They feel it's not a high gamble. Because they're basically telling you the injury is not a factor. The character's not a factor. None of that is a problem for us. We trust the kid. Okay. That tells me that Clint Hurtt's going to be the DC of that football team when Vic hangs it up. because that you want continuity there. Big Sales. The Eagles have no more excuses not to win it all. If the Eagles shit the bed game one versus the Commanders, the true Eagle fans have every right to rain boos down upon them. Hey, Rich, you know what's crazy? All the things that you're talking about with defense, everybody is elevating on defense. Not one person on offense is elevating. Ever since Vic was brought in to manage the defense. Bond got better. Campbell's going to get better. Davis got better. Jalix Hunt is developing. Hell, Trotter got better. Cooper DeJean and Q are off the charts great. All of that is sensational coaching and player development. Where's that on the offensive side? When you're stumbling around over each other. Think about that. How could every single fucking offensive player a year ago stink? Imagine that. That doesn't happen on defense. How can that possibly be? Sills, I think Howie making this deal says he didn't want to use high draft capital on a new DT. He said he knows high picks to move around next year draft to get a high pick quarterback on a rookie contract. Yeah, well, I don't see any of those dudes coming out. Okay? I don't see any of those dudes coming out that make me do this. Let me go up and get myself a quarterback. If I were Howie, I would go into the trade market and look for one of these established guys. All that goes away because your narrative there's no narrative. Be prepared, y'all. We're going to hear about how Coop and Q not going to get paid. No, I have no problem paying those guys. You want to hear that? No. I'm not saying you're not going to not pay them guys. My narrative? What? Rosenhaus won? Got a guy his deal? Got the fourth year? Hey, and by the way, stop using that excuse he was hurt a year ago because the Eagles don't give a shit about it. He just played bad. Them giving you that contract, they had no concerns. They had zero concerns. When you sign a contract like that, you don't have concerns over injury. $106 million guaranteed, up to $160 million. You don't have concerns over a guy's injuries. The fuck you talking about? He just stunk last year. Let's talk future. There's no way we keep Coop and Q and Hurts now, right? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, you'd be so wrong, dude. I win. I have less of a problem with them paying Q and Cooper due to how they act on and off the field. Carter better not go spitting on Dak or anything else now. Wait a minute, K-Gun. They don't have a concern. Their actions don't have a concern. All that shit that people were saying about him, whoa. There's nothing negative about it. You signed a guy. You have no concerns now. I do. And I would have waited. And I'm not changing my position because they signed a guy? What do you want me to change my position? What's changed? I have my concerns. All I'm saying is Carter needs to be mature and live up to it. I'll tell you what. When you sign a guy like Lane Johnson to a contract extension, are those the things you say about Lane Johnson? My concerns are, I'm saying Carter needs to mature and needs to live up to it. Do you think you're ever going to say that about Jordan Mailata or Lane Johnson? Or fuck even Jalen Hurts? Those narratives are not going to be ever used. Nobody's going to use those narratives. K-Gun, those are not concerns with Hurts, Malata, Lane, Landon, Zach Bond, Q, Cooper. Can you imagine this? K-Gun, this doesn't fit, right? My concerns are with Cooper DeJean. Needs to be mature and live up to it. You don't say that about that kid. Or any guy on your team that you truly want to be a benchmark cement guy that you think is going to be a future guy for your foundation. That's not what you're saying. K-Gun, in a way, you haven't changed your position on him. The Eagles team better be at 15-2 or 14-3 at least and make it to the Super Bowl, or it's a failure. The good news is Carter has shown he can make good on a bet. He has. He's one of the best defensive players in the football team in 24. Man, that's always troubling. I like to hear he's the best football player every time he steps on the field. You say that with Q and Cooper, Bond. Every time those guys step on the field, there's no drop off of games. It's about staying healthy and consistent for Carter. It's not a concern now. Sills, there's no way you would be able to play for the money today. If you got $160 million, you would buy an island in the Pacific and have a Corona brewery on it and just disappear into the sunset. Oh, how you are correct. Bro, if I had that kind of money right now, no one would ever find me again. Oh, I'm that guy too. Only people that would have contact with me would be my wife, my kid, and my aunt. And my animals. I'd burn the boats. If you don't think Cooper had a drop-off some games when you didn't watch some games last season, I love Cooper, but everyone has bad games. When did Cooper play bad last year? What game was that? What team torched them for 390 yards? You say Mannion hasn't done anything. Zander hadn't done anything before he took over JAKIB and is crushing it. Yeah, but he has also worked in the business too. So wait a minute here. Okay. So Mannion, you're comparing Zander to Mannion? All right. We'll see how Mannion does. Hey, Morty. Mannion is in the profession of what KP was. Zander's in broadcasting. He was raised in broadcasting. So man has been in broadcasting for over 45 years. He was raised in it. Sills, honest question. What does Carter need to look like in order to live up to his contract? I think he's a great player despite me cautious approach. How many sacks, pressures? I don't think it comes down to that. I think it comes down to impact of play. Does he show up? Do you see him flashing? Dude, I didn't need here. Do you need a stat sheet to look over at Aaron Donald and go, that guy was insane? Did you need a stat sheet? Did you need a stat sheet? By the way, Cooper DeJean or Quinyon Mitchell doesn't have a pick in the regular season. Do you need a stat sheet to go, that guy can play? The stat sheet's there to get paid. But when you're using your eyeball test and you're watching a guy play, don't you do this? Hey, I don't look at what the guy did in the game. That guy's a great player. Use your eyeball test. Don't let it fail you. Trust me. Most of the time, your eyeball test is the best test. Can the guy play? What's the guaranteed money left for Bond? Could this be his last year of Coop and Q need to get paid? Hey, Burry, I'll put it out here this. If Jeremiah Trotter continues to excel and get better, it's not going to be Jahad Campbell that's going to push him out. It might be Trotter pushing his ass out. I've had my topic page over here the whole time. I haven't even used it. I wrote down shit like this, and we got a ton of shit over here. I haven't even used and gotten to any topics. It proves a lot of sports pundits don't watch the game because you're more educated on the game. I love it. This is my 39th year being involved in training camps. 39 years as a player and covering 20 different teams. Jason's right. By the way, I posted some pretty cool pictures. Me at Raider camp, Dolphin camp, and where else was it? I was there with Joy Taylor. I got a picture of me and Joy there. On is it where is it? Here it is. Oh, in Charger camp. There's head coach Mike McCoy. We should do a weekly segment together. By the way, Mike McCoy, the wide receiver coach and quarterback coach on that team, was Nick Sirianni. So if the stats don't matter, why does everyone make a big deal about Garrett's sacks last year? I just told you, dude. They matter on contracts and production and how people see you. I'm asking you, don't you know when you're I'm going to start picking people out more that sound and look a little more intelligent. Sills, can you see any more acquisitions for Howie before the season? Yeah, I mean, if they are, they're going to be Temu signings. Over under on games played for Smith. Here, I wrote this out. Here's who trade candidates will be this year prior to going into the start of the regular season. You could see Keely Ringo moved. Darius Cooper moved. Tanner McKee. And I got Andy Dalton. Someone's going to need a quarterback. It's crazy. I mean, just with no common sense. To be fair, when the extension happened, we just, a guess, puts a fork into any last big trades. Yeah, but not, dude, most of the salary caps are set right now. So you're not going to really make any big moves right now. Not a chance. Also, sacks may be the stats, but how disrupted Carter was, non-injury, he made the D sizzle. Yeah, he had 6 sacks that year, right? And he was a force in the middle. Yep. Now he's just got to go prove it. We need Jerome Brown Carter, not 2025 spit on Dak. Well, the spitting, and the injuries were a non-factor in the extensions. I don't care if it took this long. They got it done. Rosenhaus, at the end of the day, never gets beat. He never gets beat. Let's see here. Fletcher Cox never flew off the stat sheet. Dude made his dough taking double teams and moving the line for everyone else. Stats aren't everything. Yeah, you can go down the lane of Vince Wilfork, too. That's kind of what he did up in New England. Vince has 18 and a half career sacks. But I think you miscalculate his importance and what that guy meant for the run defense. I like JC, but I think his shoulders are shot. Oh, no. Can't use that as an excuse, Brian. Eagles don't have that luxury anymore as a concern. When that deal gets signed, you have no way is that an excuse. I don't want to hear any fucking excuses about shoulders ever again on Jalen Carter. The Eagles put that to bed. There's no shoulder injuries moving forward. You don't get that excuse when you sign a 4-year, $160 million contract. What do you think this is? An excuse mill? Seals, how much money will Cooper be able to command, do you think? Oh, it's going to be in the 30s. Maybe low 20, maybe high 20s, like 28, something in there. Absolutely. I haven't even gotten to my topics. This has been wild. Oh, and by the way, everything and what I love, and I'm going over and I'm looking at social media, all the guys that were sitting there saying that they were in favor of the Eagles, hanging in there and waiting. You want to see people flipping and going and changing history and narratives? And now they're saying, great deal. Oh, my God. You're like, wait a minute. So your concerns are no longer about him going into the upcoming season. All right. Well, you're right. You have no excuses now. 4 years, 160. Now listen, I'll say it again. Drew got it done. The guarantees is where Howie, it looks like, got a break. Because Simmons, 3 years, $100 million, is going to make $33.3 million over that 3 years. Carter's going to make 26. Now, me, I'd rather have the 4th year at 26. I want the for sure money coming into me and being able to. Now, Simmons is 28. And he's a great player. Quentin Williams is going to make a bag of money. That's going to be interesting to see how Dallas handles that. Because he could reset the market as well. All right. Howard Eskin will join us at 4:30. We'll get his spin on everything. Hey, you know what, too? You got to like Howie. Howie was not going to let LeBron grab the headlines. And he gave the headlines for about 2 days and said, you know what? This is my world here. Hey, LeBron, Maverick Carter, okay? You guys think you're rolling into Philly and you think you're going to knock the Eagles off the front page? That ain't happening. Without further ado, our guy, Big Z, Zander Krause, joins us now. How you doing, bro?
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing fabulous, dude. All right. Let's hear it, Doug. 4 years, 160, gets the deal done, erases all concerns.
Well, I don't think it erases all your concerns, but I think, when you have a guy that talented, you keep him in your building. And I think the thing that I like about it is the more the roster changes in Philadelphia, and I don't even just mean in the last couple of years, I mean in the last, decade, the Eagles still continue to invest in the parts of the roster that I believe are the most important to build a winning football team. They've been one of the best teams in the 21st century. A lot of that was Andy Reid bringing in some of the roster building philosophies. And now here they are, life after Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. And the first guys getting huge money on the Eagles defense are Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. Interior defensive lineman. That's how you do it, Sills. You know it better than anybody. Build from the inside out, and Howie Roseman continues to do that. I think that's a massive win. When it comes to Jalen Carter, we all know how talented he is. He's one of the most talented players in the NFL. He has to live up to that. I think it would be fair for someone to say 3 years in the league and only one of them he played like this contract would demand you to play. And I think that's fair. But, last year obviously has the asterisk with the injury. The Eagles have more information on the medicals than any of us do. So I'm assuming it looked more positive to them than what we're speculating. That's just a broad assumption. I can only, say that from what I think. But I'm excited, man. I think it's a good thing to get done. And you got two guys still in that defensive line now who have to have a massive year, because this defense is now relying on those two guys a lot more so than when you're a first-round draft pick. You are the guys. You are the paid guys to go and produce. If Cooper DeJean has a bad day or Tariq Woolen has a bad day, it's on those two guys to make up for that on the defense. So the pressure's on, but I think it's a great day because they get signed somebody who's got great talent, a great pedigree to be a massive interior player. Money's big, but that's business in the NFL, man.
I would have waited.
I am not surprised. Color me.
Right, you said it too. You said it too. You backed the Eagles.
Yeah, I understand why.
Okay. I mean,
but
wait, are you not surprised? Wait, 99% of the people were backing the Philadelphia Eagles and waiting. And now all of a sudden it's a great deal because they got the deal done because Drew got it done. I mean, all the concerns haven't changed unless they have for you.
Well, the on the field concerns have always been probably more injury focused. Would that be fair to say? I mean, I think that's.
Well, didn't the Eagles erase that with this deal?
In a way.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't give this deal if you're worried about an injury.
So, if I got an airplane with one wheel with a flat tire, I'm not landing it. I'm like,
you would assume. And then look, the other stuff with the immaturity, maybe we've made more of it than it should be. You always used to say something, and you still say it, but you don't win Super Bowls in the NFL with choir boys.
No.
So, I think Jalen Carter has to maybe take some steps forward in that area. But I also don't think he's done egregious things to the point where, all right, this kid, look, I don't want to call anybody out here, but I'm sure all of you, though, follow the NFL and have seen some of the stories that are released on players around the league with legal cases and arrests and domestic violences and, RICO cases and all these different things. I mean, Jalen Carter has been pretty clean from that perspective. So, he's done a couple things. He's got to grow up a little bit, but I don't think those are the things that you let a guy walk out the building for. So if the medicals check out, I don't think you ever let that hang you up. I'm sure it was a negotiation, though, Sills.
Oh, yes.
Because if it wasn't, this deal probably would have got back done when Davis got done.
That's right.
So it was definitely a part of the negotiation. But and I do agree with you on this point. Drew Rosenhaus won for sure. He definitely won, which is okay. I don't think that's a bad thing.
Now, if the guy balls out like he did in 24, the Eagles win because they got the player this year instead of waiting next year.
Yeah, but I mean right here, right now, Drew Rosenhaus.
Yeah.
You got the deal done before the season. That's good. That's good for him.
I got to tell you one other thing here about the Eagles and what they have done with Jalen Carter. They gambled at the 9th pick with all that shit that went on at Georgia. They trusted him there. They turned around and trusted him here with this deal. How much is that Vic and Clint hurt and all that around him and all of that? Because I'll tell you what, the Eagles have gone. Would you not agree that this is one of the very few players you've ever seen the Eagles go and extend out like this? We took him with the 9th pick. We're giving him a 4-year contract extension. They're probably going to somehow do that whole Devontae Smith 5th-year option picking up. They'll probably
they did. Because, they've already announced it's through 2031. So the only way that works is you have not only the 5th-year option, but remember, this year is the 4th year of his contract. Next year is the 5th-year option year of his contract. These 4 years tack on to that. So if you do it roughly, it comes out to actually around $30 million. That also allows Howie to spread the cap out. I think this is going to be a much more team-friendly contract than people are thinking. So that doesn't mean it's not a big deal, and I understand people who think you would wait. I mean, I guess the one area where you could push would say, like, how much did they really save by doing it before the year?
I think like $12 million.
So you think they would have to pay him $50 next year?
No, I'm saying that The
3 million more, you're saying 12 across 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not that huge a savings.
Yeah.
So, they valued getting it done now as opposed to making Carter go into an earn it, prove it type of year for him. Could have went either way. Howie chose to give the deal. Howie has earned enough of my trust to be able to feel good about the contract.
I'll tell you something here, too. Don't you find it wild that all these players on defense are ascending and all the players on offense are stagnant right now?
Dude, yeah, probably. I don't know if even stagnant.
You think that's coaching?
Well, some of it's coaching.
Player development?
Well, I'll ask you.
Or the benefit of being young on that side?
I think when you say coaching, though, you immediately go to, correct me if I'm wrong, not the offensive line. Because are you going to, do you think coaching was the reason that Landon and Cam didn't play good last year?
No.
No, right? Yeah.
No.
So, it's more about AJ, Devontae, Goddard, Hurts, and Barkley. Those are the 5 guys that you would say, all right, is it coaching that's the reason that they haven't improved? Maybe. I mean, AJ looked slower last year to me.
So coaching, injuries on the offensive side, and yet on the defensive side, coaching and injuries, even though Carter was hurt, that played no factor.
Well, remember, though, the defense was younger. I mean, they spent a lot of draft picks on that defense, so they had a lot of young dudes that were contributing.
But why do I feel like this? Jesus Christ, Q's playing his ass off. Cooper looks like a superstar. Carter just got a deal.
Those 2 guys.
Davis improved. Campbell's looking like somebody. They found Bond, and yet here I am over here on the offense. Hey, man, is Landing going to be good? Is Lane going to make it? Is Barkley going to return? Is Devontae going to be a number 1? And is Hurts going to bounce back?
Yeah.
It's a real dynamic, isn't it?
I think there is some of it is coaching. I mean, look, the reality is, and even if you like the offense or don't hate him like me, I don't really hate Nick. I don't think he's great, but I don't think he's horrible. The way they play, the brand of football that they play is not an offensive intensive brand of football that would put players in a position to flourish, statistically and with their output. Isn't that fair to say?
Yes.
They protect the football. They're run dominant. They played power ball the last couple of years. That's not the offense you're playing when you're looking to have a quarterback go off, have a wide receiver go off. So some of it is coaching naturally because of the style of football they played, more so than a coach drawing up bad plays. The style of football isn't really one of those styles that has skill position players going crazy. I don't think the coaching has been great. I mean, I don't think Patullo was great last year. Offensive line, I don't think is at all coaching. I mean, I think they just destroyed them with how much power they played in 24. Landon, Cam. I mean, those guys looked like 30-year-old dudes last year, and they're not. Lane Johnson missed, almost half the year. He's 36, or was 35 last year. That's obviously not coaching there. Tyler Steen was he first year starter last year, second year starter, first year starter? Second year. No, he was first year last year.
He played guard. Remember, he played guard. He started at guard and then he moved over to center.
No, that was Juergens. I'm talking about Steen.
Oh, my bad.
Steen was first year.
Yep.
And then Mailata, I think, was the same. Saquon, I didn't really feel like Saquon regressed other than the point of sometimes, for example, if you have the hot hand in basketball, you might start chucking 38-footers. I think Saquon was a little overconfident because of how explosive he was in 24, and that led to some of him being too patient, making too many cuts, not hitting the hole, not getting upfield, not doing the simple things, running the football. But he didn't look like he lost a step to me. AJ looked like he lost a step. I mean, I was rewatching some of the highlights just because I'm getting ready for football again. And, he did not look as fast as he did early in his career. If you go and watch 22 and 23, when they threw him the ball, he's a bigger dude. He's not a type of receiver that is fast across the middle like some of these younger, more nimble guys. But he he definitely looked a little slower. I'll just say that. I mean, I don't think his talent level was all that down, but he looked a little slower. Devontae, to me, was pretty stagnant, and Goddard came down at 31 years old. So it's coaching, it's players, it's age, it's a lot of different things. I think it's mostly the style of offense was clammed up, my friend.
Why do you think Howie buckled
On Carter?
On
Is
Carter.
that how you see it? You think he buckled?
I do. He got what he wanted.
Yeah, but do you think he always wanted to give him the deal? He just wanted to negotiate the terms, or do you think he didn't want to give him the deal and ended up giving him the deal? Because those are two different versions of buckling.
Okay, well, wait a second. Don't you think that is that's the biggest move in the offseason the Eagles have made, and you made it all the way up until the beginning of training camp, the day you report or the day before you report to camp? Wouldn't that have been the number one priority? There was no time limit on the deal. Dude, they were negotiating the entire time through this time.
Yeah, the negotiation clear. But again, if Howie didn't ever want to pay Carter, then he buckled. If he wanted to pay him 35 and he gave him 37.
How can we go from the entire offseason of having all these issues on Carter and talking about it, and now all of a sudden they give him the contract? Those problems seem, I'm not saying you, dude. All of a sudden those problems are seemingly all gone away. The same shit we all talked about on what I heard John McMullen on your show today say, hey, look, I think there's a 50-50 shot, but you know what? I'm probably going to wait until the offs. Everyone had that notion, bro. And guess what? I agreed with them. I said, if they wanted to wait, I'd like to see what the kid does too, coming off of a down year. Now, all of a sudden, he didn't buckle and they gave him what he wanted. How do people not see it that way?
Because I'm looking at it from a business perspective. I mean, if you want to give a guy, if you have somebody that you want, and there's a number you want him at, but you come up a little bit to get him at that. For example, I'll use a big deal. The people who just bought the Seahawks, what did they buy them for? $9 million? No, $9 billion. Excuse me. All right. Let's say they wanted them for $8 million, but they negotiated and they got him $9 million. Did they buckle? No, they still got what they wanted. They just had to pay a little more for it. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Like, if Howie didn't want to pay him at all and he wanted to trade him for Myles Garrett, then he buckled. But I don't know that.
Narratives then that we talked about with Carter made no factor.
I don't think he buckled.
Okay, well then guess what?
I don't think he buckled.
You have no excuses for injuries then for poor play last year. You have no excuses then for guess what? For bad character. Because you know why? If that doesn't concern them and that wasn't part of it, those narratives were false. Because you know what's becoming a factor? Truthful? The 4-year 160 erases all of that. They were not.
It's only one of those.
If you're concerned about an injury, giving a guy $160 million, then you're a fucking idiot.
Oh God.
Oh, wait a second. Really?
It's 106 guaranteed. You're gassing it up a little bit. They clearly wanted the player.
He's the
and they got the deal done. I mean, did they maybe pay more than they wanted to? Sure. Did they buckle? No, I'm not buying it. That's a load of Sills baloney.
But okay, wait. Everyone on the planet was okay with the Eagles waiting into the offseason to see this guy, whether he was going to show up. They get the deal done, and now all of a sudden that shit goes away.
If they wanted the guy on the team, they didn't buckle.
I got to tell you, again, we're going to be consistent and say, I would have waited until like that March, and I would have waited because I wanted
that's not answering the question that you asked. The question that you asked is, would Howie buckle? Sileo wouldn't have buckled.
Oh, I think he buckled.
Well, because you don't think he was going to pay him?
Yesterday, if you remember right, I think before you came on, I said there's some movement. There's some movement.
Come on, Sileo.
Let me guess, you changed your position now. You think it's cool they didn't wait?
Well, no, I understand why they didn't wait. Didn't wait. I mean, I'm not saying that I would have done the exact same thing, but I'm reasoning they made it. I'm not the decision maker in the building. I'm an opinionated guy. I would have understood if they waited. Clearly, it would have been obvious to me that why they would have waited. But Again, I don't even have the information that they have. You
Hey.
know, they have more information on the shoulders and the medicals and all those different things. I'll tell you what, I'll tell you this much. If the medicals weren't a concern, I would have paid Carter at the beginning of the summer.
That's right.
So
that's part of my take here. That's part of
but those variables are things I don't know. So how, it's hard for me to.
I want to show you something to back up what you just said about what they're doing right now. Okay. So check this out, Z. You've got fucking $52 million tied up in 2 offensive tackles. You got $40 million tied up in a guard and a center. And now you have, guess what? What is it now? 30, we'll say like $65 million tied up in 2 tackles and $28 million or $25 million tied up in Jonathan Grenard. Let me say something, man. You talk about building the middle of your football team and your lines. They refuse to bend on that notion of being a investment type organization that is in the lines. And it's the most fucking impressive thing besides this next stat. Do you know you only have 5 mercenaries on your starting 22?
Wow, really? That many draft picks?
Tyreek, Bond, and Grenard. Defense, 3. And on offense, you have Wicks. There's 6. Wicks, Barkley.
That's it.
5. That's fucking insane. Great.
Man, that's
5 mercenaries out of your 22.
Man, that's crazy.
You talk about home cooking and drafting and
Hollywood, but Hollywood's not starting 22.
He's not starting.
No, he's not starting.
Wicks will start at the 3 or whatever they do. Wicks will be the 2.
That's impressive.
It's unheard of.
But I'll tell you what it does also. And you're right about this. This is no more the cheapest defense. That's a well-paid defensive line, my friend.
Hey, the big truck is staying over at NovaCare right now. You know why?
Here's a little lesson in Sileo logic. Get ready because he's going to take your shit today and give it back to you. When the season comes, the expectations for these players are now at the top of the Empire State Building.
That's right.
And they have to reach them.
You know what, though, Z? Remember, this is what Howie's saying. Howie's doing this. Hey, Brinks truck, you better not leave because I got a couple more guys in the offseason and Cooper DeJean and in Q that we got to pay. Holy cow, Zander. When these guys show up to like events, you're going to be showing up in helicopters like LeBron now. Holy piss, dude.
LeBron got to be careful in those helicopters, man. He better get a well-trained pilot on that.
Living in New York. What a dick.
Oh, shut up with that. What are you all you crying about LeBron living in New York? He's rocking a Sixer jersey. I don't care if he lives in fucking Bangladesh for crying out loud.
He's living in Westchester County because he's got to go up there in New York and he's got to live in New York.
Westchester County. He's in a high rise in Manhattan.
If you play in Philly, you either live in like South Jersey or you live in Philadelphia. Come on, man.
That's not true. That's not true. Almost none of the players live in Philadelphia.
They live
in Jersey. Them live in South Jersey, where in Haddonfield and all that. And then I know where QB1 lives over in the suburbs of Philadelphia on the Pennsylvania
It's
side.
Like Hindenburg or something.
Yeah, I don't know what all these dudes are doing. Jalen Hurts is the only smart one. They're all paying New Jersey taxes over there. What the fuck are they doing over there? Get out of New Jersey.
I'll tell you what, man. Hey, the Eagles were not going to let the Sixers have the front page, were they not? That wasn't going to happen. Howie going into the start of training camp. Hey, I'll say this to you, man. You're right on one thing about Howie. Howie didn't want to do the deal. He wouldn't have. That's one thing's for sure. And the owner.
How are you saying he
buckled? How about this though? The owner had to want to do it too.
How are you saying he buckled then? Sounds like you
dispelled
your own narrative.
No, bro. He got what he wanted. He got the contract. He got the 4th year, and he got a record-setting contract. That's Drew Rosenhaus. That's winning. off of a shitty year. You're the 100 and what was it? Here. So let me get this right. Carter was the 112th ranked defensive tackle against the run and the 58th overall. And you gave him the number one deal coming off of a shitty year. Who do you think won that? Wasn't like this guy was coming off being the best DT in football, and you were like, shit, you got to give that guy a fucking boatload of money. That's not what that was, bro. That's not. However, here's the good thing. Bro, you're inked down for the next 4 years with two dudes in the middle, and that's going to impact your linebacker play. Dude, I'll tell you something else. You know what?
Yeah,
you know
but
what?
I'll tell you what's grim on that area. I don't see how they're going to pay Bond past this year.
Or Moro Jomo.
He's gone. Moro Jomo's gone.
And he's going to make 26 somewhere.
Yeah, good. I'm happy for him. 7th round pick. Kidding me? Guys have earned it. He needs to have a good year, though.
Can I throw this at you here about Trotter? Gary Cobb said something to me last night prior to the start of camp. He goes, and Gary's not saying he's going to push Campbell, but he's saying if he plays like he did a year ago and has the kind of camp he had a year ago, he's going to command playing time. You think he pushes Bond?
No. This year? Hell no.
So you're going to keep him on the bench and not put him out there?
Zach Bond was like the 4th rated linebacker.
No. Well, I mean, Zander,
next year, yeah. Not this season. No way.
I'm surprised by him.
It's a good thing because they're not going to be able to pay Bond. Dude, they're going to pay Cooper and Quinion. They're not. I saw somebody say, say goodbye to Cooper DeJean. There is a 0% chance that Cooper DeJean or Quinion Mitchell are not on this football team long term. Take it to the bank. Mark my words. Mark my words, everybody. Take it to the freaking bank. Both of them will be paid next summer. Sileo, write it in the Sileoization book. They will be paid.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hang on. 7, 8. There's $89 million. There's $90 million. And then when you get Q and Cooper signed next year to 6, holy shit, that's going to be like $165 million defense.
Good. It'll still be less than this offense.
You're right on, dude. Right on. Hey.
Well, what else will get shed on offense? Something's got to give, folks.
Hey, man, this camp's the camp of Ty Robinson, isn't it?
No.
No, what I mean is he's got to prove he can play.
I know what you mean. I'm just not putting my eggs in that basket. No. I'm not letting you drag me to that area.
He's got to prove.
When that guy's a stiff, shit on him.
He's got to prove he can play.
He does. I would not call it the camp of Ty Robinson.
Well, Ty Robinson better show that he can play. And you know what? When John says that you guys are pretty deep there at defensive tackle,
I don't really see what he's talking about.
Yeah,
well, considering they do have 3 great defensive tackles.
Yeah. Okay.
But after that,
now look, like you said, I'm not looking for first team all pro behind these guys, but give me the names behind Carter, Davis, and Moro Jomo. Who the guys?
Just to respond quickly, how many teams have that good of a top 3 DTs? Most teams are lucky to have 1 good DT, let alone 2 good DTs. The Eagles have 3 good DTs.
Right. Agreed.
So I think that's where the depth comment comes from, just because that there's 3 players of that caliber. And then Byron is pretty good. Vic liked him a lot, so he's solid.
I do too.
After that, it's off a cliff. Ty Robinson, isn't going to see didn't see the field last year. So it's not much after that. But
yeah, I don't. I think
how many have that good of 3 though? I bet you the Eagles are in probably the top 3 or 5 teams in terms of that.
They are. But I don't think your defense is better than Houston's or maybe Denver's, but that unit could be there in that top 3 with those guys. You know what I'm saying, Z? You know what? Winning the top defensive number 1 defense in the year. Look, dude, it's a crapshoot. Denver, Seattle, the Eagles, the Texans, the Chargers. Those are good defenses. You know what I'm saying? And how it rolls out could be a guy rushing. Hold on here. Guy
I
rushing.
got a bold prediction for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Eagles defense will be better and rank better in all the most important metrics than the Houston Texans defense.
You have one player on your football team better than Will Anderson.
That's not what I said.
I didn't say that. I asked you a question. Do you?
Wait. I'll use what you use against me.
Okay.
You want the great player or you want the great unit? I want the great
They have
unit.
a great unit.
I know they do, but you responded to me by saying, is anybody better than Will?
Okay, wait. I was going to go down the list here, and you tell me per man if you really believe that when you match up, at least skill set.
It's not about per man. It's about the unit.
So Will Anderson and Donnell Hunter versus.
It's about the sum of the parts.
Okay, Jonathan Grenard and Nolan Smith. I mean, sure. Stingley and
I agree. The edge rushers are better in Houston.
Wait, Stingley and Lassiter?
Nah, I'll take Quinion. I think Quinion's better.
Quinion and you'll take Quinion and Woolen over Stingley and Lassiter.
I'm taking them over Stingley. And
who were first and second team All-Pro last year.
Was Lassiter second team All-Pro?
I believe so. Let me take a look.
That was a make-up fake news. He wasn't second team All-Pro.
Let's take a look at Lassiter. I believe he was maybe a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, all right, we've come down to Pro Bowler.
Hold on, let's see here. Come on, what was he?
I'm taking Q over anybody.
Okay. What was he? Lassiter. Texans.
He was a Pro Bowler last year.
Okay, he was a Pro Bowler last year.
He was a replacement. He was slaughtered.
And Woolen was fucking cut.
That's like when Jalen Hurts made it as a replacement after his dusty.
Oh, you think Woolen is a better player? Dude. Look at this. This guy thinks Woolen is a better player than Lassiter, who was cut. All right. Yeah.
I'm taking Quinion over Stingley. You can have Lassiter over Woolen.
I'm not.
All right, I am.
Okay, you take
Stingley's overrated.
Stingley, hey, now Stingley's overrated. I love you, Z.
No, I just think Quinion is better than him. If I had one pick right now, I'm taking Quinion.
Texans, hold on here. I got to see Texans.
So if you had one pick between Stingley or Quinion, you take Stingley?
Dude, yeah. No, 2-time first team All-Pro. I mean, yeah.
I'll take Q.
All right.
I don't know that I've ever seen a corner come into the league and look like Quinion that quick. I mean, people couldn't throw on him his rookie year. So they didn't even try to throw at him last year.
So wait, you think Q is better than the guy up in Denver too, right?
Pat Surtain, probably not. That dude's rare breed. But I think Quinion's right there. I mean, I think he's in that conversation.
You think he's better than the guy in Los Angeles with the Rams?
McDuffie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think that Cooper's better than Derwin James?
Not yet, but I think he can be.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Hey, that's my boy. So
Derwin James is a player. You know, it's funny.
No. James, Q is my boy, but I love
James played college ball at Florida State, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah. So you don't like that from Florida State boys, but you do give Derwin his credit.
Yeah, he's a great player. Hey, man, I want to ask you a question about the NFC East. Biggest questions for you with the Dallas Cowboys heading into the start of training camp today. They go to training camp too.
Biggest question for the Cowboys, that shitty, dusty, horrible, no good, no nothing, down bad defense that can't stop a nosebleed. And they hired Christian Parker and drafted a rookie and think it's all better. I mean, it's not all better. They got Gary. That's good. That guy they drafted in the end, I have no idea what he's going to be. I'm a Caleb Downs guy, even though he's in Alabama. So fuck him for that. But excuse my language. But I don't think a rookie, I don't think you put in no world, and I would say this about the Eagles, in no world is it the proper thing to do to take all your eggs and put them in the basket of a rookie. If a rookie has a great year like Cooper and Quinion did, that's great. But you don't go into a year relying and banking on a rookie player to change and turn around your unit. That's just bad GMing. So I don't like that at all from that perspective. I think that edge they drafted in round one, later in round one, is going to get a lot of
The
reps.
kid from UCF.
Yeah, what's that? I don't even
can't
remember his name.
name.
Lawrence or something. I forget what his name is.
No.
Cowboys draft pick. Is who? That guy's name. Malachi Lawrence. Yeah.
Yeah. Malachi Lawrence.
I'm not a fan. So, I mean, I don't know. He might be okay, but he's a rookie.
I thought he was spotty last year.
And the other thing with the Cowboys is George Pickens going to look like that again? Is Dak Prescott going to look like that again? I don't know. I gave that offense a freaking boatload of credit last year, much to everybody in here crying up a storm, including Princess Swayze. All right. So I don't know that it's like the career year conversation. Saquon puts up 2K. Is he going to do it again? Probably not. Is Pickens going to do that again? I don't know. Is Dak going to do that again? I'm not sure. We'll see. CeeDee Lamb, I got to admit, I like that. I think he's a good player. Got the drop problem right now, so We'll see if he fixes that. But Cowboys aren't. I don't think they're ready to win the division.
How about this? You think Christian Parker has enough impact on the team that gave up 30 points a game and a franchise record 511 points?
No, and that's no knock on Christian Parker.
You think they stay right there at that number?
No, I think they get a little better.
Okay,
I don't think it'd be that bad, but look, it's the same thing about Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio has been a great coach in Philadelphia, but he doesn't always have a top 5 defense. Why is that? Can anybody riddle me that? Because he doesn't always have the best players. Christian Parker
has 20% turnover every year rosters.
Right. But I mean, Christian Parker has his work cut out for him. All right.
New York Giants. How much improvement will the Giants show in 2026 under the direction of John Harbaugh?
I think they're going to be better than I was tough on them earlier. I think they're actually going to be better than I was originally thinking. It's kind of one of those teams that has a lot of high draft picks recently. And then you see teams like that. I'm not saying it's going to be the Giants, but you see teams like that sometimes when they change the coach out, make a big jump. Look at like a team like the Jags. Look at teams like they have a bunch of these top picks. They can't win, and then they make a change, and they all of a sudden jump. I think Harbaugh is going to get a lot out of them, but I'm iffy on Jackson Dart, man. I'm just not a huge fan of his game. I don't think he plays the actual quarterback position that well, and we'll see. I saw that dude. Who's that dude? The running back, Cam Scatterboo or Scatterbro, or whatever the heck his name is, doing backflips on my fell.
The Fanatics.
I don't know what that guy's up to. The best thing they have going on their offense, I think, is Malik Neighbors, who's a hell of a player.
Well, they had the 9th best offensive line last year.
Yeah, they got a decent offensive line.
O-line is improving here a little bit. And here will be a concern here too. Matt Nagy's now the offensive coordinator there. I've said this about Nagy. I really don't think Matt Nagy is that great a head coach. I thought he was mediocre up in Chicago. I do think he's a pretty good coordinator. How are they going to coach Jackson Dart? And, and now you're going to get a full year of Malik Neighbors, and you're going to get Dart. You're going to have Matt Nagy, who's a pass game guy. You got a pretty decent offensive line. You lose, though, in the middle of your defense, Dexter Lawrence. Don't be shocked to see the Buccaneers end up potentially trading Vita Vea up to New York for a 2-year deal, maybe for Vita Vea. But Vita Vea wants to play on the West Coast.
Is that where Vita wants to go?
He wants to go to West Coast because he's from out there.
San Francisco?
And wants to go to one of the California teams like the 49ers.
Oof.
He wants to play with Mike Evans.
How old is Vita Vea?
31 years old. That's why he's not going to get a Carter deal. He might get a Davis deal, a 25. He's making 17.5 right now. He's so underpaid. But, I mean, dude, you signed him to a 2-year contract with an option on that second year that you can bail on it if he blows. Kind of what they did with Javon Hargrave.
Yeah.
If I were the 49ers, I would do that.
Yeah.
Dude,
I don't know.
the Buccaneers get rid of Vita Vea. Let me tell you this. You know your pick of the Saints winning the South?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, if I were you, I'd put an extra little
That's
money
my best pick of the year. I'm not a betting man, but if you want to make some money, go ahead and drop that.
Bro, you end up – if the Buccaneers lose Vita Vea, they were 5th in run defense last year. You get rid of that guy, you just made the job harder for a guy like Reuben Bain to really be a guy who's going to have like an impact. So tell me this, dude. What do you make of the Washington Commanders in 2026?
I think it's Jaden Daniels or bust. I think they put too much pressure on him, dude. Who have the look around the league at what some of the teams have done around young quarterbacks. Look at what the Eagles did when Jalen Hurts became the starter here. They draft Devontae Smith. They trade for A.J. Brown. They have the best roster in football. Boom, all of a sudden Jalen Hurts playing in Super Bowls. You know, Jalen deserves credit, but that's called good GMing, you know. Even in New York Giants, you know, they draft a running back. They have Malik Neighbors. Did they go back to the receiver? No, they didn't. They went double defense in round 1 this year, right? They went linebacker and I forget who they were.
Sonny Styles, and they get another guy. I forget the guy.
Who the fuck else did they get? Why am I
Washington got Sonny Styles and what the fuck did they?
Who did the Giants take?
Oh,
Arvell Reese, and they took the tackle Francis Mariota.
That's right, the kid from Miami.
I just think they put too much on Daniels. I mean, what have they done for him? They drafted Josh Connerly. What have they done for the young quarterback who you want to turn into a superstar? They haven't done shit for him. I think highly of Jaden Daniels from a skill set. I really do. I worry a little bit about holding up in the NFL, but I don't think they've done anything to help him out enough. And you know, I'm not a fan of in the camp of, you know, put it all on my young rookie contract quarterback to drag us across the line.
New first-year coordinator too in that building.
He did it his first year, but you gotta put more around him. I think they've done a horrible job at GMing around him. And remember, I said this last year going into the season after they went to the NFC Championship game versus us, and I said I hated what they did in that offseason. Well, I once again do not like what they did in the offseason.
Do you think the NFC East has improved?
Yeah, because I think Harbaugh makes the Giants better, and I think the Cowboys will be better. I think they've improved their defense, and the offense is pretty much the same. So I think the NFC East is better. I think the Eagles will still win it. I do. I feel pretty strongly about that, actually. And I always try and be objective on the shows. I know I am an Eagle fan, so I can fall into the slanted glasses, but I think objectively looking at it, it does feel like it's the Eagles' division to lose. Now, they could lose it if they don't play to where they need to play to.
You mean the offense doesn't play to it?
Yeah, but I mean, I think the Eagles have the best roster. I think they have the most, experience. I think they have the best coaches. I think they're right there, ready to win the division again.
Again,
if they don't win it, I think it'll be a letdown.
Zander, again, though, I want it clear. I'm not talking about your roster. I'm talking about the approach. If they go really all in on all the things that they have done this offseason, acquisition-wise, hires, all of that.
Camp starts tomorrow.
You can't just dismiss it.
Camp starts tomorrow. I've given you one more opportunity to come off your putrid, awful, shitty prediction of 8 wins.
Okay, name me one thing they did to improve the offense this offseason. One thing.
8 wins or not, Sileo.
One thing.
8 wins or not.
Oh, even more slam dunk. Name me one more. Give me one thing they did that you thought was significant that improved the offense from a year ago, except for hoping health.
Filet mignon, baby.
Jesus Christ. I hope they're healthy. Okay. Dontavian Wicks.
We got
Hollywood Jackson.
JD3 says, we are so close to finding out where the issue lies. I keep hearing Mannion is an upgrade from Patullo, so we can't blame the play caller this year. Well,
Oh no! Oh no! 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 Oh no! 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 Don't you dare, JDCPT33T40. Don't you dare worry. There is no excuses now. You can't keep. Hey, that conveyor belt of OCs and all that bullshit. Jalen Carter's shoulder injuries. Hey, by the way, you made a great point today on your show. Zander goes like this. Hey, John. Wait. Oh no, this was a great one because it went right into my take today. So wait a minute. He goes, hey, John, it's kind of wild. Did Jalen Carter have any procedure at all this offseason? Not that I'm aware of. So wait a minute. This guy had no surgery. He had plasma shots that did dick. And the Eagles gave that guy a 4-year, $38 million deal and said, wait a minute. Everyone in the offseason was like, oh, yeah, man, the guy was played hurt a year ago. And the Eagles said, fuck you, man. I don't care about the injuries a year ago. Here's your money. How you doing? Here's $100 million. Right here, look. Right there on the table.
They got the medicals. We don't.
You're damn right we do. No, they do. You're damn right they do.
Well, let's see. I mean, they must like it more than we know about it. So it's going to be interesting to see, Sileo, but you don't let a fucking guy like Jalen Carter walk out the building, dude. You want to fucking argue on numbers, timelines, whatever. All right. You don't let the guy that caliber walk.
No, I wasn't arguing the timelines. Everyone else was.
You just said to me 3 different times in this segment you wouldn't have done it this year.
Yeah.
Right. You're arguing timelines.
I was never arguing.
All right, you want to do it this year, next year. I
wasn't arguing.
You want to pay him 32 versus 38. All right, fine.
90% of the people that were in your city were saying they were all behind the team.
You don't let a player of that talent walk out the building.
Well,
that's the central point.
We're going to be consistent here. I would have waited.
All right.
We're going to be consistent.
Again, there's a central point. Everything else, there's the freaking what's it called? There's the root of the tree or whatever the hell it's called. What's it called, Sileo? I don't know.
No, man. Where the fuck you're going?
The trunk of the tree and the branches. All right. The branches are how much money? When should you do it? All this bullshit. You don't let him walk out of the building. They got him paid.
I hope he plays well. I hope he plays well.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay. Hope he does.
Yeah, me too. And they need him.
You know what though, man? You know what's cool about Q and with Cooper and with Bond? Every time those guys step on the field, they're fucking great. There's none of this. Well, I hope his shoulders hang on there. I hope his attitude's good. I hope his character's not a problem.
This dude,
I don't hear any shit about that.
Shit, dude. You always come up with some shit to bitch about. Yeah, you're right though. You're right about those 3.
No, actually, I've been consistent the whole fucking offseason.
No, I'll give you credit because it's like when Quinyon Mitchell's up, assuming he has another year like he did last year. There's no like, oh, should we wait? Do we have to see this? No way. Same with Cooper. No way. Contract's ready. Give it to him.
March 18th. March 18th. I've got the truck right there in the backyard.
Is that when he's doing it? March 18th.
That's when the new year starts.
Look at James. Zander, what the hell are you talking about? James Jones, shut your bitch ass up. The Commanders stink and you know it. And that's why you're sitting in this Eagles chat all day making friends. All right. And cracking peanuts because you don't have anything to watch over there in dusty Washington. All right. Crappy ass Washington. What's it called? That stupid area that they all love. What's it called over there? Virginia, Washington.
What is it? Prince St. George County or something like that, where they are.
There's a name for it over there.
Oh, wait. What the hell is that place over there where that old shitty stadium is?
DMV. That's it. Yeah, the DMV. You know what I think of when I go to the DM? You know what I think of when I say DMV? The shitty government building that nobody wants to go to. That's how I feel about actual DMV, the place. Nobody wants to go there, James. That's why you're in our chat.
Go back to Marshall here.
Here's Marsh. Stills did 100 shows yelling at us saying, where's the deal? Now he's flip-flopping.
I've not flip-flopped one bit. I said I would not have done the deal.
You said they weren't going to do the deal.
Yeah, and so did everyone else. I'm not
So
the
you were
only.
wrong on that. That's all right. I was wrong
Okay.
too. I didn't think they were gonna.
Okay.
I was wrong.
Hey, Marsh, my boy Rosenhaus never loses.
Can you say that or no?
What?
You know, some people in life you meet that they're unwilling to say I was wrong. Can you say it? Say it for me. I was wrong. I didn't think they were going to pay Carter this summer. They did.
I miscalculated.
Oh my gosh! What a crock! What a crock!
I miscalculated.
I miscalculated. That's hilarious.
Great,
Marsh, you're correct. The flops are flipping.
Yeah. Oh no. You want to hear flip flopping?
Like
listen to fucking radio shows in Philadelphia right now. People going, "Hey, what a deal! Way to get it done." They're like, everyone should wait. I mean, I'm behind the Eagles, waiting till next year, and everybody's like, "Fucking." It's wild to listen to. It's like, change your narrative. It's all right. Big Sills is going to stay on that rail.
Football team. You let a player like Jalen Carter walk, Sills?
No, I just told you he's going to play this year, coming off a dog shit year. That no injuries to the shoulders was a factor for the Eagles. Couldn't have been. They just gave him $40 million deal. And don't tell me anything about character. You can't talk about character anymore because that's not an issue either. So character and injury is not a factor for them. They blew it off. They gave him the deal. So don't talk to me about fucking injuries anymore. Not you, but everyone.
Dude,
don't talk to me about them.
Dude, you're not letting a guy walk that good over a loogie, are you?
Well, you would have let him walk going into the offseason.
No, I wouldn't have.
You just said you would have waited.
I would have waited and paid him.
Okay, I didn't say not to pay him. I said let's see what he does.
Don't let a guy walk because of a loogie.
Okay, that's not what I said. I said I wanted him to show he deserved the contract like Jordan Davis and like everyone else said that he should do.
I told you at the time, and I still agree that that's a fair comment. They didn't do it though.
I'm not on you because you're not that guy. You turn on shows, you hear people now going, "Oh, I never." You're like, "Fuck that." Stick to your water, dog. What are you talking about here? Right. Hey, by the way, I'll tell you what.
Howard Eskin going to shred LeBron James to Philly?
Oh my god!
For $4 million bucks?
No. I hope not.
How?
I hope not. Hey, well, he doesn't really like the player.
I'm aware. He calls him LaFraud, right?
You know what, though? I will say this. Like, I've never heard him ever talk kindly of, like, LeBron. So.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
Who will be rank in order for me? Who will have the best 26-27 seasons in Philadelphia? Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, Flyers.
Sixers?
I think you might be right. I think the Sixers might be the top dog this year.
Mattingly managing the Phillies versus the Eagles. I'm going to ask Howard this.
I got Sixers, Eagles, Phillies, Flyers.
How about this? Do you think all four of them could have winning seasons?
I think so, but I think people are putting the cart before the horse in the Flyers.
Oh,
the margins are smaller in hockey. I think the Flyers could turn, but I don't know.
So Howard's getting his I think he's getting his hips chopped up this week. So he's taking time with us here. But I got to ask you this.
Right. I remember he said that. He was getting the double hip.
So wait a minute. He's never said one kind thing about LeBron James.
Well, we're going to hear he's
he's never, ever. And you know what? Angelo put his grumpiness kind of to the side yesterday, right?
Well, that's because he said he could, he sees the excitement.
He didn't want to rain on anything.
He didn't want to rain on the parade.
Well, see, I don't believe Howard's like that. Howard's going to.
Yeah, I think Howard will rain on the parade if he feels.
And then we'll get his thoughts on the Carter deal, too, and how everything's changed.
Yeah. All right, brother. Good job.
Great work, man. Way to go on that breaking news, too. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, bro. I love you, man.
Later, dude.
All right. Yeah, so the first person, actually, there were two people I thought of, and I won't lie, I thought of Howard Eskin first. And then I thought of Angelo, and then I saw Angelo's blog. We talked about it yesterday. And he said he put his grumpiness aside. I have never, in all the years I've ever spoken to Howard Eskin, this goes back a long time, I've never heard him say anything great about LaFraud James, and which I've stolen. And I stole it and put it on my TV show this weekend. So all that being, then again, Stone Cold Lead Pipe Lock, Bruno stole that off him. I saw that great interview they did. Without further ado, we're first going to start off with health here. And we bring in our friend Howard Eskin. He joins us now here on the program. First and foremost, Howard, how you doing on the health?
I'm doing fine. I just, I'll get fixed up, and then I'll be rocking and rolling.
What, as ornery as ever?
I'm just here, and I'll steal an Allen Iverson line. I'm going to keep it for real, and that's what I do. And if you don't like it, go bleep yourself. All right, because I'm just trying to be honest. And in the end, I'm usually right about those observations based on different things. And fans don't like it. Fans are, it's like the Pied Piper. Come on with me. I'm the Pied Piper. And, and they just follow whatever somebody with social media, the biggest opinion on social media, they just go with that, and they just go with other fans, and they really just, kind of play with themselves. And I mean, that's what it is. It's just, I'll get into it.
Okay, so wait, what is your take on LeBron joining the Philadelphia 76ers? What do you think the impact is on that basketball team this coming year? Does it make them a favorite?
Well, does it make a favorite for what?
To win the NBA championship.
No, absolutely zero. Zero. They will not win an NBA championship this year. Will not. Zero. Now, obviously, it's more than a zero chance, because everybody, before you start the season, has a chance. How does he make them better? How does he make them better? That's what I'm trying to understand. How does he make them better?
Well, wait a minute, Howard. He is a 20-point, 6 assists, 7 boards guy. He's still, even at 41. Look, he's not LeBron 10, obviously 15 years ago. I compared him to this. It's like Messi going to Inter Miami. It's a 39-year-old guy who's still a good player and a great player. He's still one of the top 20 guys in the NBA right now. He's not like some sort of stiff guy. And don't you think a guy like Edgecombe and Maxey and those guys, in getting Jalen Brown, you don't think, and even Embiid, you don't think they benefit having a guy who's been to 10 NBA finals on the floor with them?
He doesn't fit. There's not enough basketballs. Jalen Brown is going to want to score his 20-some points a game, because and that's one of the reasons the Celtics moved on from him. He's still obviously he's a very talented player, is because he wanted an extension at the end of, I think he's got 2 years left and then an option. He wants an extension. Well, he's not going to get that extension if he's not scoring 20 points a game in the next 2 years, which LaFraud has a 2-year contract with the 76ers. And by the way,
$8 million.
Yeah, $8 million for 2 years. Okay. Miami offered twice that. There's no state tax. So why did he take this deal? Why did he take this deal? There's another company.
Clutch Sports.
Forget about Clutch Sports.
Clutch has Jalen too. And I don't know, man. Plus, also,
why did he take it? I think he's getting money. I think he's getting money from whether it's endorsement or whatever, to entice that, because it doesn't count against the cap. So how does this benefit the fans? Ticket prices went up 3 times. So now the fans are getting screwed, because the beneficiary of LaFraud James are the owners, because they're going to make a fortune, because they didn't have to pay him that much, because nobody had any cap room. But Miami could have given him more. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, why would he? And Miami's got a pretty good team. And they have a great coach. Everything about them, I think, is a better chance to win a championship. I don't know if they would have won it, but they got a better chance.
Remember, so you don't like the deal?
I don't like the deal. And by the way, I'm going to make you a bet if you got the balls to do it. Okay. You, in the lunacy, or you were either on drugs or alcohol, said that LaFraud was going to have a 27-6 this year. 27 points.
That's what he did last year.
Okay, I'll bet you $500 right now, that he doesn't average 27. 6 assists will be nothing with the way they score points in the NBA. Nobody plays defense. 6 assists is nothing. 27 points ain't happening, brother.
No, not 27. 20 points he scored last year.
You said 27.
No. I said 27 assists and 6 boards is what he did. I say in Philadelphia this year, I say LeBron goes for 18 points.
Well, okay, you said
7 assists.
Didn't you say he was going to be? Well, I thought you said 20.
No, he ain't.
Okay. No. Okay. There's not enough basketballs on that team. Maxey is a great guy, and he'll do whatever he's told to do. And he'll be happy for a little while scoring 14 to 16 a game because there's not enough basketballs. Jalen Brown's going to have to score 24 a game or he's not happy. All right. Embiid is a stiff. All right. He's always out of shape. Oh, he's going to get in shape. He's going to physically, his body can't take it. And he's not going to be able to take the way the game has to be played for him now. He has to play under the basket, defense, rebounds, low post. He's going to have to do all that. That is physically exerting, and he won't be able to play 24 minutes a game if he does that. So he's not going baseline to baseline. His body can't handle it, and he's not going to do that. So he doesn't really fit in this whole situation. He's not going to be able to always stop at the 3-point line just to take shots to save his energy. That ain't happening. And he's not scoring high 20s or 30 points a game. That's not happening. So he, even though he's happy just getting his $63 million a year, he's not going to be happy at his numbers. Edgecombe is a developing, obviously very good young player. You think he's going to be happy scoring 10 points a game? I don't think so. For a while he will be, and wait till LaFraud gets booed. It'll take half a season, but he'll make some mistakes and these Philadelphia fans will boo him. And that's the only good thing that they know how to do is boo.
By the way, Embiid hasn't played north of 40 games in 4 years.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. So now you're going to have to change your lineup all the time. All LaFraud is doing is chasing numbers. That's all he's doing. He's already passed, I think, Jabbar in points, but he hasn't passed. I don't think he's passed him in wins. And so he wants to get all that. And he still won't be one of the top 5 players.
$8 million. He can't. He's not chasing.
He took it because he couldn't get anywhere else. Miami could only give him $8 million a year, but he's getting something from the outside somewhere. I'm telling you, he's getting an endorsement deal somewhere on the other side, but he only took $4 million. That doesn't benefit the fans. That benefits the ownership because nobody had cap room. Golden State didn't. Cleveland didn't. Miami could have squeezed $8 million a year out, but that's it. So what's the difference in his world between $8 million and $4 million? But it was still more money. So the fact, they only spent $4 million. Who gives a damn whether that's their benefit? That's not the fans' benefit. And by the way, the player that was really exciting coming to the Sixers, and it's a new world because of social media, was Moses Malone. And they won a championship the first year he was there. That's not happening with LaFraud James. Is not.
So this move here is not in the room when Dr. J came to the Sixers.
Well, Dr. J
came to the Sixers, right?
Well, again, no social media when Doc came to the Sixers. Right. So you didn't get as big but it was gigantic. I remember because it was the merger, the NBA, ABA, and it took a lot for Pat Williams to work out that deal. And I knew about it. It was really, really exciting. if there was social media then, it would have been more than LaFraud James because he was in the prime of his career. All right, let me give you some other numbers there, genius. All right. There's how many players do you think have played in the NBA? He's going to be 42 in December. So let's use the real numbers. Okay, 42. How many players have played in the NBA at 42 years of age?
Jesus criminy. None. 1, 2. I'll go 2.
Okay. Haslam played when he was 42.
With the Heat.
And he played 4 games that year. All right. He played 4 games when he was 42. Robert Parrish played when he was 42 and 43.
Howard, this guy spends $2 million a year keeping his body up. This is not like 1970.
I don't care whether he spends
Cheetos.
I don't care what he spends keeping. Yeah, nobody beats Father Time. Now, there's no question he's in great shape, but nobody beats Father Time. We wanted Barry Sanders to play longer, and Barry Sanders quit when he was still on top.
10 years.
Robert Parrish played at 42, averaged 3.9 points a game, averaged 14 minutes a game, and played in 34 games. When he was in 43, he played in 3 games, 3.7 points a game, and he played 9 minutes.
So you think this is a disaster happening?
I don't think it's a disaster. I think they'll be okay. They'll be a good team. They'll be a good team. They're not winning a championship. I don't think they're winning a championship in the 2 years that he's here because now he is the coach. And that's another thing.
The relationship between Nick Nurse and him will be what in your eyes?
Well, I think he's going to, hey, coach, I think we should do this, this, and this. And then Nick Nurse is going to say, you know what? Great idea. Great idea, LeBron. Great idea. So he's going to, because he'll lose his job after this year because they're not going to win a championship. So he's got to kiss. So he's got to do what LaFraud wants him to do. That's another thing. So he will dictate. He will run things. And I just don't think he's a fit. Are they a good team? They were a good team before he got here. I don't think their chances really changed that much because he's here. He's 42 years old. He's at the end of his career. And the only reason he's playing is because, number one, he wants attention. He needs attention. And he gets attention from everybody. The national media, they all just, LeBron, 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 LeBron. Enough. The NBA didn't put out the schedule until he signed. So he controlled the NBA.
Oh, by the way, Knicks and Sixers on Christmas, just to keep score there. How you doing?
Yeah, great. Okay. You know what? It's okay on Christmas.
Is this bigger than Pete Rose being signed?
No. Pete Rose is the all-time leader in hits. Pete Rose was a great player, and I was there in Orlando at the winter meetings when they brought him in and they signed him. Now, again, no social media. So
Angelo agreed with you. He was like, no, this is not like
I mean, no, it was never, it's not the biggest signing in Philadelphia. And the other thing that anybody that says I have a guy, I saw it on social media. The reason he's the GOAT always goes on another team. that's the GOAT he is.
Wait a second.
And he's not Michael Jordan.
He delivers a 4th championship in 4 different cities. That'll be 5 total. I mean, I don't know. How do you not sit there and go, well, wait a minute. He went
and if the cow jumped over the moon, I mean, it's just, give me a break. Stop with it.
Hey, is this the greatest athlete to ever play in Philadelphia sports?
No, because they're hockey players.
Bigger than Wilt.
No. Again, not social media, and a lot of people didn't get to see Wilt. Wilt really is better than Jordan, but once Jordan won 6 straight championships, he didn't choose up his own sides. He didn't try to make and go to super teams. That's the difference. Jordan didn't chase down another team. He didn't, hey, Magic, how about you and me getting together? He didn't chase down Larry Bird. How about you and me getting together? He didn't do all that stuff. That's the difference. That's why Michael Jordan will always, ever 6 straight championships, and
Yeah,
he
but
left
Howard,
basketball for 2 years and came
Howard,
back and won 2 more.
today's sports world, athletes are mobile. It's not like it was when there wasn't free agency
Who
back
gives
in
a
the
damn?
day.
He just wants to chase championships and chase the team, put together super teams. That I know things are different with athletes. I know they're different, but come on now. He didn't have to chase teams to win championships. By the way, he played 9 straight years of all 82 games and all
I know.
playoff games.
Yep.
All right. And, LaFraud will never do that. Well, nobody does that. It's just, how about, and I'm checking it, the over-under on games where all 5 starters play in the same game. What do you think the over-under is?
20.
Somebody told me on one of the sports books, and I'm checking it, it was 11.5.
Oh my God.
And all these dopey Philadelphia fans, oh, you got to take the over. Oh, yeah, they're super team that's not even going to play together. So that's another thing. He's just, there's a lot of people that don't like him for a lot of reasons. And I don't know if you saw the latest story. And again, I don't know if there's anything to it, but I wouldn't be surprised that he's going to live in New York and helicopter.
He is.
And
I said that was bullshit. I said that's bullshit.
I'm not so sure about that. I think he'll stay up there at times. He's got the access to the apartment and he's got the access to the helicopter.
Wait a minute. So he's not going to live in Philly or South Jersey.
If he doesn't, he will
live in
be
Westchester County, and he's going to helicopter in to Sixer games.
Hey,
This is why he never connected with Laker fans, because the Laker fans thought he was bullshit too.
Well, he is bullshit. All right. So they have a helipad at the Sixers practice facility.
Oh my God.
They do. They have a helipad there.
Oh
the owner flies in on a helicopter a lot of times.
What do you make of Bob Myers and what stuff he's done with this?
Bob Myers obviously has a track record. He's been terrific. So, and the Celtics, hey, I know Jalen Brown's, and people get pissed off at me about that. I'm just giving you facts. He's a very good and very talented player. But the Celtics weren't a better team with him. Do you know in the last 4 years, I don't know if I mentioned this to you last time, the last 4 years with the Celtics, do you know what their record was when Jalen Brown did not play?
No.
47-10.
Oh my God.
So now they had not as good a record percentage wise because it's more games. They had a very good record when he did play, but Brad Stevens is no dope. So if you can win without spending that money and use it somewhere else to get other people, and you don't have to worry about the contract extension, it was obviously a good move for the Celtics. Now, and I still think they're favored over the Sixers.
And they moved the Paul George deal too, by the way, and they got that out of the building. So,
well, and they'll get rid of him in a year too. The Celtics will get rid of Paul George on the last year of his contract. So whatever. Yeah, they got rid of Paul George. But the reality is, they were a better team without LaFraud James. And Moses was the player. Players that usually move to a new team, and they move because they got traded or they signed, don't win the championship the first year.
It's been a disaster outside of Golden State.
Yeah, and they don't win the first year. I'm just he's chasing numbers. That's all he's doing is chasing numbers.
I want you to do me a favor on this one here. You know what? You are so right about the sports media in your city of Philadelphia. These people do not stick to their takes.
They kiss a lot of ass.
I said this about Jalen Carter. I said, look, I don't mind the Eagles holding and waiting until the offseason. The guy came off a shitty year. He was the 58th best D tackle. Against the run, he was 112th. His shoulder injuries, that was something that was brought up by every media guy on the planet. All of a sudden now, they signed him to a 4-year contract at $37.5. Rosenhaus gets what he wants. He gets that 4th year. I mean, all of a sudden now it's a great deal. And I'm like, hang on. Those concerns still are there with the player.
Yes.
I mean, they're not.
There's got to be.
They're not going away. How do you see and who do you think? I think Rosenhaus won this over Howie. I think he got what
Well,
he
I
wanted.
don't think. Well, it depends on what's written into the contract. Does he have to play X amount of games?
So those incentives that are in there.
Well, incentives that you might subtract if you don't play a certain amount of games. And I don't know how they work those contracts, but they have to be worried about his now that he's got a contract. You just don't give him the money and say, okay, well, we know you miss games. You know that, and they know that he doesn't always show up for games just based on the numbers you just said. Obviously, if he showed up every game, he'd be a great player. Congratulations to Drew Rosenhaus. But what is in there? What is in that contract that that forces him to play in these games?
Here's where Howie got a break here a little bit. Jeffrey Simmons signed a 3-year, $100 million, fully guaranteed with bonuses. Now, he got a bigger deal, did Carter, but the guaranteed cash, as you know, Howard, that's the real money.
Yeah.
When you got $100 million, okay, he got $100 million over 3. Carter got 106 over 4. So in theory, Jeffrey Simmons got $33 million fully guaranteed money over the next 3 years, or Carter's going to get $26 million over the next 3 years. So he kind of got a $12 million break, in essence, on what he's going to work with on being able to fill out the roster with Q or with maybe with Cooper DeJean. However, you know, I look at it, none of these concerns have changed. You think he's a star player?
Well, what was the signing bonus? I didn't see a number on the signing bonus.
I didn't see the signing bonus number yet. I saw only the guarantees.
Yeah, and the guarantees were
Was 106.
Okay, 100 for Carter.
Yeah.
106. Okay, it's a lot of money. 106 for 4 years.
106 with the contract with escalators in there up to $162 million.
Right. Okay.
So the contract could go to 162. And again, like I said, you know,
chump change anymore in the NFL.
Well, I mean, next year we're talking about would you have waited? I would have waited because I wanted to see what he would do coming into this year because he came off a poor year of a year ago, as we said. Would you have waited, or do you think the Eagles did the right thing in signing him now?
If you had to wait, you'd probably have to sign him because he wasn't going to. Who knows whether he would have? I got a ham.
Oh no, Drew Rosenhaus would not have let him play
right
go through training camp if they didn't have a contract.
So that only hurts your team. So you either sign him or trade him. You don't have him play out this last year. So it's just so you had to sign him because you didn't get what you thought you should get to trade him.
You think he's better than Jerome Brown?
I wish Jerome would have played more. Unfortunately, we know what happened.
How about this? You think
he probably didn't play harder. He probably didn't play with more intensity than Jerome Brown.
You think he's better than Fletcher Cox?
No. Nope. I mean, it's close, but no, I don't think he's better than Fletcher Cox. Fletcher Cox was really good, and he gave it to you every game. For the most part, they all give it to you for the most part every game. I don't know. We'll see whether Jalen Carter gives it to you and he goes out there and lays it out for the team every game. Now that he's got his guns.
Playoff team?
The Eagles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to win the division, but I think they're a playoff team.
You think they've done enough on offense? I keep asking everyone the question, Howard. Name me one thing they've done on offense to improve the offensive football team. One thing.
No, they haven't. Their offensive line isn't as good. Lane Johnson might be one of the 3 best right tackles in the history of football. But he's 38 years old or what it is, coming off of 35. Okay, 35, coming off 2 straight years of injury, 2 or 3. Well, it's at least 2. So is he going to be physically able to hold up? Your center and your guard, Juergens and Dickerson, had stem cell in the offseason to try to help them physically. Who knows whether that works. So their offensive line isn't as good as it's been the past 2 years. Could it be good? Yeah, sure it could. Jordan Mailata's got to play a better year. 2 years ago, he was terrific. Last year, he was okay. And he's the kind of guy that'll, put his nose to the grindstone and just go for it and do everything he can to get back to the level that he was. But if the offensive line isn't as good, then the running back isn't as good, then the quarterback isn't as good. They all step to the next.
However, Howard, I got some breaking news for you. Bronny just got waived by the Celtics, or excuse me, the Lakers. He just got waived by the Lakers, and reports are he's on his way to Philadelphia to play with his dad. To play with his dad in Philly. Holy cow.
Already that's a problem, because players usually give star players a pass and let them do whatever they want to do. But when they say he runs the team, Bronny James can't play a little bit. He couldn't even start on a less than 500 USC college team. He stinks. He stinks. He stinks. He doesn't belong in the NBA. But if that was part of the stipulation to take LaFraud, then the Sixers already have problems.
Oh, wait a second. There you go. Maybe Riley didn't want to take Bronny after Bronny got cut. Maybe you're right. Maybe that's one of the parameters.
I think there's other money involved by endorsement money.
So you think they're pulling maybe a behind the scenes deal like they did in LA with Kawhi Leonard?
Well, not to that level, but yeah, and as long as it's not the ownership, it doesn't make any difference. Although I'm sure the ownership, if that deal, and I believe there was some kind of extra deal. I do believe there was some kind of extra deal.
I'm not going to give a little broadcasting here. I'm not going to give the name of the person. I'll text it to you that told me that there is a revolt and there's an insurrection going on right now at WIP over that Sirius XM thing. And those guys going on Sirius XM because of bonuses and such, that they're really, it's got a lot to do with the bonuses. And a lot of the guys over there at Sirius are not happy with the fact that they're going on Sirius XM.
Who's not happy? The people at WIP or the people at Sirius?
People at WIP, the hosts, aren't happy.
Okay. I didn't understand the whole thing anyway, because
I don't get it
you can get WIP all over the country for free. You don't have to pay for Sirius because it's on the internet. Right. It's on their app. So why do you have to? And I'm not sure they're going to be allowed to broadcast the games. Doesn't Sirius have a package where they broadcast the local games on Sirius?
That's right.
They're not going to allow that package to get
Westwood One has the national package.
On Sirius. Is it on Sirius?
I think so. Okay. But you have to pay for that.
Right. Okay. You have to pay for that. So they're not going to allow that for free, just like they didn't when you got that station on your app. The games were not broadcast on the app. So that's not even the benefit. I don't even understand the whole thing. Yeah. I just, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me, but I never thought about the bonuses, because you're saying it could take away some of the ratings situation, so they don't have to play bonuses.
That's right. I got one last one here for you. Hey, wait.
That company stone broke anyway.
Hey, listen. Believe me, a couple people in the
and
morning.
radio's dying, and that's another part of the problem.
Listen,
they're trying to save money all over the place.
A lot of people in the morning show are not happy, so I'll just leave it there with that, because I'm not going to out anybody. However, I want to show you something.
Well, wait a minute. Odyssey's firing they're not called general managers, they're called market managers. They've on the Eastern Seaboard, I think they've gotten rid of 7, and they're not replacing them. I know. I mean, they fired the guy at WIP. I told you that. Oh, he's retiring. Not at 57. He's not retired. Yeah, he's not. It's a joke.
No. Here, listen to this. I want your professional journalistic take on this. So I was on the air doing my TV show on Sports Grid over the weekend, and all of a sudden I get this breaking news. And it was Kyle Shanahan was in like a car accident. And I'm like, whoa. And then the guys come in my ear and they go, wait a minute. It happened 3 weeks ago. I'm like, what? And so I went over to ESPN and I looked at the stories and I looked at Adam Schefter. The moment that story broke, how about this, Howard? ESPN 1 minute later dropped a story, a full-length dossier story on Kyle Shanahan being in a rollover accident with lacerations to his face. He broke his nose, he broke his ribs, he broke his foot. He's going to miss training camp. He may miss the 10th opener or the 9th opener against the Rams in Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah.
And then get this, 3 stories within a minute were dropped. They had them packaged and canned. And we got something in Philadelphia now with the sports media, and Angelo brought this up. What's this embargo thing that the Eagles make you hold stories for a week and then they tell you when to release them? I just want to get your takeaway on how and what's happened to. I mean, Howard,
I told you that the guy that oversees PR controls wants to control everything. We're not going to give you this story if you don't hold it. So they basically threatened you. It's just, yeah, there's no such thing as reporting anymore. And when Adam Schefter, who's played, he held the Rossini, he knew what was going on with Rossini. And I have no opinion on that. He said on one show, I heard him. What do you mean you have no opinion on that? She hurts the reporters. It's one thing to trade with an agent. Hey, help me with another player and I'll give you the dope on this player. General managers. Hey, I'll give you this, but help me. I'm trying to move this player and it doesn't seem like there's a lot of interest. Can you kind of build up the interest? So they sell themselves for that, which I don't think is right. If you get a story, you get a story. If you don't, you don't. You do it by the way people used to do it, the way I've always done it and still do it that way. I'm not going to trade. Hey, if it's a real serious story, I had a story of an Eagle player that was accused of rape and I knew about it. And they asked me to hold it. And that was a serious story. So that's right. And I wasn't, yes. And I wasn't sure. I mean, I couldn't be 100%, but I knew it happened. I mean, I had the Julius Erving story, and Pat Williams said, because there was a lot going on with the ABA and the NBA, and he had to work a lot of different deals. And he says, as long as you give it to me before anybody else, I'm fine with that. And those kind of things I understand. But when guys do it, and then they get it 1 minute ahead of the next guy, big deal. Big deal. Nobody knows. I mean, nobody remembers that I had Daryl Morey fired before anybody had him fired. Nobody at the time, but then it goes away in 24 to 48 hours. Like nobody remembers that. It's over time of all the stories that you really had that you didn't have 1 minute before the others. But I'm disappointed in these national guys. They think they're stars. I mean, it's a joke. It really is. It really is a joke. But to hold the Shanahan story, if he was
for a month,
if he was on a deathbed, I shouldn't even say it that way. If there was serious concerns about life, I'll say life, whether he was not in stable condition, I can understand that if that's the case. I can appreciate that.
A month? Man.
Maybe. Well,
look how fast this Jalen Carter deal got reported.
Well, that's just a signing. If this guy's health was in serious,
but if these guys are getting these intel, like you said, that are on these food chains, that everyone are on, there's certain guys that are on these food chains, Howard, and you're reporting and holding. How do I know to trust you and what you're telling me is not what you're saying and what the team is saying? How do you trust the Eagles when the Eagles are holding stories and you turn around and go like this? Well, wait a minute. If they're telling me to put that story out, how do you know I'm putting out a story that this is what they want said? That's not journalism.
No, well, wait a minute. There's no such thing as journalism anymore because social media, you can report something, and if it's not right, it just goes away and nobody cares. You just put it out there. Yeah. What's that?
I'm talking fantasy shit. You're right, because it's not.
Yeah.
right.
So social media has changed the entire way people report things because you can get it out there immediately. You don't have to wait till you come on the air for a radio show. But more so than anything else, TV was the one. You don't have to wait until your 5 o'clock or your 6 o'clock news. It's just I I remember that. I mean, certain things that I had to wait till 5 o'clock and hope that nobody else had them. When I did when I started with the news, there was only a 6 o'clock news on TV. But yeah, so you just waited and hoped nobody else got it
I'll tell
before
you,
you
for me,
reported.
Howard, my biggest story that I broke in Philadelphia was when I found out, and think I've told you this. I found out that Vic was being signed by the Eagles because I had been in Orlando. Tom Shaw was working out. I walked by, and there was Tom Shaw, Tony Dungy, Andy Reid, and Joe Banner. And they're sitting there, and I'm going like, what's going on? Tom Shaw comes out and goes, Michael Vick is signing a contract with the Philadelphia Eagles. And I went, what? I waited 3 hours. I was nervous. And so I said, holy cow. Then I called Coach Dungy and I said, Coach, he goes, it's true. I went on the air. I was the first to break it nationally that Vic had signed a contract with the Philadelphia Eagles. They broke it. It was a Monday night game, actually. And John Gruden was on the air. And John goes, yeah, the Eagles. And so for me, I kind of held it not because I wasn't going to report it, but I wanted to be right. I didn't want to
Yeah.
be wrong, so I called a couple people. It's not really important any longer to be right. It's more important about being first. And that's kind of where I think
Yeah.
you lose it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I remember when, and I took a lot of crap when I reported on TV that Leonard Tost, who was at one point the owner of the Eagles before Norman Brayman, who was before Jeffrey Lurie, that he was going to be forced to sell the Eagles because of gambling debts in Atlantic City.
Wow.
And I took a lot of crap. And I reported it, and nobody else had it. I mean, I had people there that were watching this go on, and then I found out all the other stuff. And I reported it. I took a lot of crap. I was only in television for 3 months.
Oh, my God.
When I reported it, and it turned out obviously to be true. And then I reported they were talking to somebody to move to Arizona. And I reported that, and kind of once it got out, everything stopped. They weren't going to go there. But whatever, back then, it didn't get picked up by a lot of people, so you could wait. Now, everybody's on social media, and they just throw it out there.
Howard, I'm going to land this last area here. I want to go to the Phillies. What do you make of what's going on with Dave Dombrowski right now? I mean, trading deadline. Do they have to go all in? Do they not have to go all in? Do they need another bat? They're not getting runs. So, I mean, do they?
And how many years have I been saying that without home runs? They have trouble scoring.
Dude, I hate Schwarber at the top of that lineup.
Well, it's analytics.
Dude, the guy hits.
Well, at least he's not lead off.
Body weight, and he takes the walk of shame every single game. And you're like, how are you going to get guys on and move dudes around when you got a guy hitting 205?
Well, at least he's not hitting first. He's hitting second, but he should hit third or fourth. But Bryce Harper has to hit third. Bryce Harper has to hit third because Bryce Harper wants to hit third. So he's not going to hit third. And then you have two left-handers, but you still have two left-handers in a row with Schwarber and Harper. So I don't understand all this analytic nonsense. It's killed the game. It's taken away base hits. Nobody has high batting averages anymore because it's all about hitting home runs. That's what it's all about. It's all about hitting. Strikeouts don't mean a damn thing. But I don't think he can go all in because they have nothing to trade. Their minor league system does not have enough to trade. When Dombrowski went all in before, he had players in the minor league system. There's so many other teams that have more solid minor league systems that they can trade good young players to get players that can help them win now. I don't think the Phillies have that. They need middle relief, and they've thrown a couple of different guys in there. And once in a while, they're okay. They do need a right-handed bat. But I don't know what
do you think Dombrowski's over or underachieved?
It's probably underachieved. But it's not all. Um, I don't know that he really wanted to sign Trey Turner. Great guy, but not worth what they paid him. And he was never a good defensive shortstop. Hell, he just had another error. What was it, last night? He just had he's like third in the major leagues in shortstops in errors. He was never a good defensive shortstop. So I don't know what you did. But now
That's not
he's
a good
just
defensive baseball team either.
no. But now you hope he overcomes that with his offense. And, he's not offensively is good, and you have 7 more years of him, 5 more years of Harper. So I just don't know what they can do to go all in. What do they trade? I don't think they have enough in the minor league system. So they just got to hope that. And I don't know. You've seen enough that they're not going to get better.
You think Carter finishes his career in Philly?
That's a hard question to answer. Because once Las Vegas, that's his home. Once Las Vegas starts, and they're going to start in what, 2 years?
I think the A's are moving there in 2 years. Yes.
Okay.
They're in Sacramento right now.
Okay. Yeah. That stadium's a joke. I know. But whatever. So, I think there's a chance because he's from Las Vegas. And that would be the only team that he would really want to go to. Now he's kind of laying out somewhere publicly what the Phillies need to get. You know what? You can't start listening to the players. Trey Turner was signed because of Bryce Harper, because he played with him at one time and he wanted him to come to the Phillies. And I don't know that was a good, as it turns out now, it's not a good signing. So the Phillies are likely a playoff team. They're not a World Series team.
Boy, I saw you the first moment that LeBron news broke. You were like, "This is stupid."
He doesn't fit.
You were like, "This is stupid," and everyone's going to be. You knew it. You knew Philly was going to go upside down, didn't you? You knew it was going to go on its ear when they heard that LeBron James.
Oh yeah, the fans
they fell in love with 25-year-old.
Well, here's another negative for the. Not only are they going to pay they're paying 3 times as much for a preseason game, and they'll never play. Guys,
did they really raise tickets? The Sixers?
Yes. Yes.
Oh
yes.
wait,
what did you think they weren't going to raise ticket prices?
No, wait, they didn't raise it 3 times though. What they did,
they didn't raise it last year. And they weren't going to raise it this year. But once LaFraud signed, they just seized the moment, and it's all about the money for the owner. So here's another thing: the fans are so excited, and they're only going to get hurt. Ticket prices. So now you won't be able to afford to take your kids to a game. Now you
don't know if he's going to play. How many games do you think he plays tonight? How many games do you think he plays this year?
6 low 60s.
How many at home?
He better play them all, but he's going to get hurt, and he's not going to play them all. And the people have already bought the tickets; they'll be pissed. And then the other thing is, they're going to be, I think the number, and it's not out yet, 34 national TV games. Now, when they say national, sometimes it's a lower network.
They gave him the max that you could give a team.
They didn't put out the whole schedule yet?
Not the schedule, but no, they said that the 76ers are at the max right now of how many national games that they will put on this year because of LeBron. Look at what this man has done for your city and your team that struggled since '83. I mean, Howard, how are you not happy about a guy only playing for $4 million? Changing the landscape.
Forget about $4 million only helps the owner. You get caught up in that number. That number's bullshit. All right. Because there were no teams that had cap room. So he's going to have to take a low number wherever he went. So that only helps the ownership make more money. That's what that's all about. And here's the other thing. National games. Now the fans, you get home, it's never a decent hour. Now the national games are going to, when they're night games, they're going to start late. They're not going to start at 7 o'clock anymore Eastern time. They're going to start 7:30 or 8 o'clock. So now you're not going to get out of there until even later. And if it's during the week and the kids go to school, it hurts the fans, and paying more money Mo money, mo money, mo money.
Don't you see any positive in this?
Yeah, the excitement is a
Okay.
positive. But that's the
Well,
positive.
can't you can be energized by the excitement of something, especially
Yeah, but
especially an
it comes down to
organization.
results. It comes
Okay, it
down to
does.
results.
It does. But for an organization that has been starving to elbow their way into prominence in the community, which they not have since when? Iverson? I mean, right? Since Iverson. I mean, so they've been struggling now. How about Josh Harris? You have a different. I asked Angelo this, and he says I cannot give that guy any love at all whatsoever. Have you
No,
changed your opinion on Josh Harris?
not a little bit. He cares about his football team more than he cares about. The only thing he cared about with the basketball team is to make more money. So now he's got the opportunity to make more money. And that's what it comes down to. He's going to make a fortune on ticket sales. Not for this year, because if you buy season tickets, I bet you they force you to take 2 years. So you have to take both
God.
years.
So you've gotta buy two. If you want to buy season tickets, you're gonna have to buy 2 years.
Commit, not pay for them now, but
Yeah.
you have to commit to that and you have to sign a contract in that regard. Phillies did that too because they had the All-Star game this year, which was unfair to the fans too.
How do you
So,
think they did? How do you think they did putting the All-Star game on?
well, there was excitement. There's no question the city had excitement. But the problem with the All-Star game now is the 3 to 5 best players didn't even come.
27 Ks too. What am I
Oh,
watching?
yeah.
I'm watching
How
27.
about the National League got 3 hits and nobody got to second base?
I'm out. I'm not watching this BS. I'm like,
No.
I talked to Bobby
The game
Valentine.
sucks anymore.
I talked to
But the
Bobby
energy.
Valentine over the weekend. Bobby goes, I didn't have any interest in that. Why should I have an interest in something the players don't even give a shit about?
The
And
players
I'm
don't care.
like, okay.
And that's the problem. The energy in the city was great and everything was great. And the city had, and then they had them walk the red carpet the day of the game at Independence Hall. You think the players really wanted to do that?
Signed a declaration there. I was like, really?
Yeah, give me a break. So the excitement for the city was really good. The excitement for LaFraud James is good.
So wait,
But
you think you might be getting Shaq, Celtics, LeBron James?
I might be getting what?
Like when Shaq went to the Celtics and the Cavaliers, and he was just like toast. He was nothing.
He won't be toast, but he won't be the same player.
You think he's a 12-point a night game kind of player?
I think he's 14 to 16.
14.
And he'll make sure he gets that.
14 points.
14 to 16.
Do the Sixers?
There's too many guys on the team that need to score.
Can the Sixers beat the Knicks in a playoff series?
I don't think they will do that right now. First of all, Embiid will be shot by the end of the year. So if you're counting on Embiid, you got no shot. No shot. And he can't play in the playoffs. Those games are every 2 to 3 days. He can't play every 2 to 3 days or every other day.
You don't think he has any impact on Joel Embiid?
Joel Embiid's body is his body. I don't think he has much impact on him. Joel Embiid does what he wants. But now you got two prima donnas because Joel has the chef come out to his house to cook for him where you can come to the facility. He has the trainer, a trainer come out to his house. So now if LaFraud sees that, LaFraud's going to want the guy to come up to New York if that's where he's living. Can you imagine if he lives in New York?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the TV crews shooting a helicopter landing? It'll land at the practice facility, and then they'll have a police escort over the bridge to the arena. Which
So he's going to be living like in Montauk over on Long Island or something.
I don't even know where he's going to be living.
He's going to be.
But again, that's a report. Where there's smoke, sometimes there's fire.
No, I believe it. He's going to helicopter in from New York. And
he's got the place to live. And
he's Yahoo's reported it that he's going to live in New York.
Who reported it?
Yahoo. Yahoo
okay.
reported it and said this, that he's going to live in New York and he's going to helicopter.
Hey. He's already got the place to stay and he's got the helicopter to bring him in.
Jesus Christ. Come
on. If that's what he wants. But that means he's going to have to come to practice. He's going to have to come to practice that way too.
Yeah, but wait, when you're a normal dude, you can do that kind of. When you're the face of something like that, I don't, man. You don't want to live in the city that you're
We'll
playing.
see how many of these people following the Pied Piper.
Last one here. How long before you think the city turns on that guy if that thing starts going south?
Long if it goes, but they'll never lose a lot of games. So, but it's all going to come. Oh, they'll win in the playoffs. They'll win in the playoffs. They're not going to win a championship this year. Are they a good team? Yeah. Are they a championship team? No.
Howard, what do you got going on this weekend, bro?
I got the fraud love.
Oh my God.
Nah, I'm going to talk some baseball tomorrow night on the show with Larry Boa. Obviously, we're still going to deal with LaFraud James. I got some things that I saved, and people laid it out. There's so many people. I played Dennis Rodman last week on the show. He called him a 42-year-old crybaby. And he's ruined the NBA. See, Dennis played when guys were put together by the team, not by the players. I'm going to make you
a comment here about Dennis Rodman. He is the greatest sub 7-foot rebounder outside of Russell in the history of the NBA. He won 14 NBA rebounding titles, 3 Defensive Players of the Year, and won more championships than Larry Bird. I mean, Dennis Rodman's resume is insane.
Played with Detroit and Chicago. Yeah. And it's just Dennis Rodman's a hell of a weird guy. And I was at a party with him. I don't even want to talk about what's at the party.
So wait a minute. I can just see it. You're hanging out with the mobster from Philly and Dennis Rodman at a party.
Well, no, this was
you got twice the Rolodex.
Dennis Rodman's party was in Las Vegas.
Oh.
Like, what was I doing there?
Oh my God.
With all the strippers and everything else, what was I doing there?
Oh my God. I can just see you taking my notes going, what in the hell is
this? So, but he was a good guy. I remember after a game when it wasn't so formal, and it was really great about it. Took a picture with 2 of my kids. And so
he's a great dude.
Yeah, he really is a great, weird guy, but a good guy.
Yeah. You know, I had him on my show when remember when he had that shoe brand. I had a shoe and he gave me a couple of hats, and I even posted a picture with that on my social media. And I told him, he goes, hey, let me tell you something, man. I made $25 million a year. I'm $20 million or something. He said a year when he was with the Bulls. And he's like, listen, don't kid yourselves. Those dresses made me a lot of money.
Yeah. I'm sure.
I'm like, you know what, man? He goes, right. People love gimmicks. I was a wrestler. You know what he compared himself to? He goes, I was a wrestler playing NBA basketball. That's who I was.
Yeah, and he had to be brought under control every once in a while. And Phil Jackson would always ask Michael to say, hey, listen, this is a big game. We need Dennis. And Michael would always talk to him.
So where would you put LeBron in your top 5 players of all time?
Well, I don't see his name there.
Wait.
He's not in the top 5. Stop.
Are you going to tell me that LeBron James is not a top 5 NBA player of all time?
Nope. Absolutely capitalize N-O in reverse or whatever. No, it is Michael Jordan. It is Wilt, only because Michael won all those championships. Okay. It is Wilt. I don't even include, because people didn't get to see Oscar. He averaged a triple-double when they didn't pad stats. Okay, but I'm not going to include Oscar. Larry Bird had the same numbers as LeBron, better shooter. I think he was a better rebounder, certainly a better passer. He didn't play as many years, but Larry Bird is 3. In the last 2 minutes of a game, I want Kobe Bryant. Kobe. And then you got to put Kareem in there too. Okay, so that's 5. Where does LaFraud fit in there?
Here's my 5. Michael Jordan. I got Jabbar 2nd. I got Magic 3rd.
Yeah, I didn't even include Magic.
I got Bird 4, and I got Kobe 5.
Yeah, so you don't have him in the top 5 either.
No.
He wants attention. He is goes on another team. That's his GOAT. Goes on another team.
You think Steph Curry had more impact on the NBA than what LeBron did?
Yes, because he made the 3-point shot popular. He really, I mean, there was some really good 3-point. Now everybody just shoots threes, which it's a joke. But no, I think, and I'd rather have Steph Curry on my team because he's
Actually,
a great teammate.
earlier in the week, I did have LeBron, but then I had to correct it. And I said to somebody, I had to put Bird in over LeBron.
Bird was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. If you look at those videos of Bird, you don't really realize when you're watching them live.
Initially, I did put LeBron.
Bird, I mean, had eyes behind it in the back of his head. He was such a facilitator. Got the rebound, started to break and find guys all over the place. He was amazing.
But you can make the conversation that Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, I mean, they're pretty compatible. Those are 5 great players right there, too.
Well, LaFraud, for most of his career, couldn't shoot foul shots, and you don't want him on the line in the fourth quarter.
He's the all-time leading scorer.
Well, look at his percentages with foul shots for most of his career.
In the last 2 minutes of a game, there's only one.
I want Kobe.
You know why I would want Wilt? You couldn't defend the skyhook.
Okay. Well, Wilt is, it's a good argument. But
Jabbar, you can't defend the skyhook.
You can't the skyhook, right. But it wouldn't be LaFraud. LaFraud wouldn't be there. I don't want him in the last 2 minutes. And then he's, you know what he is the best at? He is absolutely number one flopper in the NBA. He flops when he's not even touched. He slides across the floor and holds his wrist, holds his head, holds his legs. He's a phony. And then he whines to the officials. He is the all-time flopper in the NBA.
He's going to bring so much storylines this year to Philly.
Yeah, and the writers will kiss his ass. Or the media. I just shouldn't say the writers because, writing, nobody cares about the newspapers anymore, which is sad, a sad thing. Yeah.
Howard, when do people get to check you out tomorrow night? What time?
Tomorrow night at 7:30 and Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. Saturday, I do it at 8 o'clock because people aren't into their days doing stuff with the kids and all that other stuff. So they have time to listen and join the show, and they can join the show.
You bet. By the way, when are you going? How's the whole process going? Okay. I mean, here's to you. He's the undisputed GOAT of crying. Talking about LeBron here. When are you going in for the hips?
Monday. So that's all right. I mean, it's just everybody tells me it's going to be great. So I just
great.
Howard, and then I'll have a few weeks to rehab. So we'll see.
Howard, I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you so much.
Oh, by the way, I think wait a minute. I've just seen this. This is breaking news. Breaking news. There are helicopter rides from here to New York and New York and back. But unfortunately, LeBron's charging and he's going to make money on it. But you can have a ride in the helicopter that brings LaFraud James back and forth to Philadelphia. That's exciting.
Oh,
can you imagine the fans lining up for those tickets?
Oh my God, man. It's like called the LaFraud ride, right?
What's that?
The LaFraud ride. Oh my God. Howard, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, my friend.
All right, I'll see you. You got to get over him.
You got to get it, man. I appreciate you, Howard. Thank you so much. Yeah, earlier I did. I had LeBron there at 4, but then I got talked into Bird being put there. I had MJ, Jabbar, Magic, and LeBron, and then Kobe. And then I had forgotten Bird. I can make the argument Kobe and LeBron. You can argue whatever you want there with that. So those two, look, he's one of the top 10 players in the history of the game. Make no mistake about it. So let's see here. So we'll see what happens. Come on, people, stop being BS. When they compare Michael Jordan, they're comparing him with LeBron James, not Larry Bird or Magic Johnson. Sorry, but LeBron James is number 2 behind Michael Jordan. Dude, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird were special players. Sills, am I wasting my time and money and dying in a broadcast journalism industry advice for real. I will tell you to do what Zander's doing. Make your own platform, Kim. Be your own boss. Do not take direction from anybody but yourself. Oh, look at Shannon Sharp, what he's doing. Shannon Sharp doesn't need ESPN, and Pat McAfee made their own sandbox. Make your own sandbox. I think getting the formula for broadcasting and journalism and learning the business and understanding the business, I wouldn't stay past a year in a journalism class, but I would sit there and take the year. I'd get the formula. And you know what else I would do, Kim? I would see if I can intern a couple hours a month at a radio station somewhere or a TV station and then learn how behind the scene works. That's what I did. I was a producer for television and a producer for radio for about 3 years. I produced KGO and a television station in Las Vegas. And I worked as a producer behind the scenes. And then I got a job in radio. That was my forte. And once I got a job in radio, my first job was a national radio show called Sports National Radio Network. It was old, like Sporting News Radio was my first gig. It was based out of Vegas. I was on 700 markets. And that was my first real big radio show. And then I got a job in San Francisco. And then I got moved into KGO radio and TV. I was doing weekends on KGO. And I was doing TV and radio in KGO. And then I got a job at KMBR, one of the top radio stations in the country. And we were doing 12 shares. So, let's see here. Philadelphia. How is LeBron James not in the top 5 when they're saying who's the GOAT, Michael Jordan or LeBron? Well, the media today, look, hard to argue LeBron is not in the top 5. I'm just talking here. Like I said, Larry Bird, LeBron, that could even be a tie. Those two guys. It's hard to, how about this? I know what Zander's saying now. If I had to put my starting 5, that's different than my top 5 players. My starting 5, my two forwards would be Bird and LeBron. My guards would be Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan. And my center would be Jabbar. So that's my 5. I think that's the 5 he was talking about. My starting 5 would be Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Bird, and LeBron, and my center would be Jabbar. Top 5 players, I think they're different. Michael Jordan, Jabbar, Magic. I got to pick one power forward. It's either Bird or LeBron. I'd probably go with Bird, and I'd go with Kobe. Got to pick 2 guards. And Magic Johnson, that's the same principle that's made the Eagles great in the last few years. Your 2-5 might not be on our team, but our unit functions. Yes. A.J. Brown's frustrations in New England only seem to grow by the day. How many weeks do you predict it will take before he demands a trade? 0. I take LeBron over stiff-ass Larry Bird, who played in the 80s. Okay? Magic and LeBron are pointless players to me. I don't even classify Magic as a point. Both players can play all positions at a high level, which is true. which is very true. Absolutely. Boy, that Vita Vea deal. Boy, did they jam that back in Jason Light's face. Holy shit. Did they push that back on him? Man. Vita Vea wants nothing to do with the Buccaneers. And I told those people, Howard Eskin here. Hold on. He gave me a story behind the scenes of what's going on a little bit over at WIP. Says, are the Eagles nuts or they like having no depth? Hard to keep a football team with a top flight roster every year when you got to pay people. The Eagles are losing really good foot. Like, look here, Moro Joma more than likely is going to be gone next year. Okay. Yeah. Let me pay some bills here. Our great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number one injury law firm in all of America for a reason. And it's because they win. With over $30 billion recovered, there is no company like Morgan & Morgan. Told you about the family in Pennsylvania that was initially offered $650K. They got nearly $26 million in settlement. Or the family in Florida that was initially offered $350,000. They ended up getting nearly $12 million in settlement. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
Had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand.
Thank you.
We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. the New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
You know, all in all, big day for Philly. Big day for the Eagles. And this contract with the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Carter. Chris Forster, in his 11th overall season with the 49ers, and his first as team's assistant head coach, offensive line coach, Eagles threw Southland in the dumpster like nothing. And by the way, you got to remember something about Chris Forster. This guy was thrown out of football because of a cocaine addiction. I want to double check and make sure that I'm saying that right. Chris Forster cocaine video. I think there's even a cocaine video. Video of Dolphins coach Chris Forster prompts resignation, offensive line coach. Women posted here. This was in 2017. A woman said she posted a video of ex-Dolphins coach Chris Forster doing cocaine. And he resigned. And he resigned because of that. A great offensive line coach. And by the way, I think it's awesome that the NFL is taking him back. Too good a talent. He's one of the absolutely greatest offensive line coach in the NFL. And to waste that, look, a drug problem, I mean, that's self-inflicted wounds. And you want to do as much as you possibly can for an athlete or for a coach. And if a guy straightens his ass out, I don't have a problem. The guy is talented. Believe me, many of you in here talk like you forgive people all the time, and you guys like forgive folks when you really don't. Because at the end of the day, you either believe in rehabilitation or you don't. And I believe people can have second chances, dude. I'm all for that, man. Get an opportunity. Jalen Carter averaged 55.9 snaps per game in 25, second most ETs, and played at least 90% of the snaps in 4 out of 11 games. Yeah, but how productive was he? I've got the other part of that. He finished doing that a year ago, 112th against the run, 58th overall, according to PFF, whatever you look at. I mean, like I said, I'm not changing my position. The Eagles would have been right to wait. They didn't. Drew got his deal. I did. Sills, what gym song do you associate with your gym time in the 80s? Great question. I liked listening to AC/DC back then. I liked listening to probably AC/DC. And so probably that. But I also like listening to rap music. So I liked rap and rock. So I liked it like that, M. Reyes. How was Wayne Fonts? Ask my wife. My wife told him to go F himself. Played the PS game on my pregame 53 to get Cole Payton and UR Bernard on the roster. McMullen's 53-man roster prediction. Why do Eagles get creative to create roster spots? Hey, listen, Howie's great at it. Hey, and by the way, like I said, Drew Rosenhaus, congratulations. Great job, guys. And as we told you yesterday, there was movement. We told you here yesterday, 37.5. It came in at 38 and the fourth year. So we'll see. Coming off a poor year. And like Zander says, do you think you let a guy like that walk out the door? Nobody said let him walk out the door. I said let him play the 26th season. So what's the Eagles' plan at a quality quarterback? Going rate is $50 million a year. I think if you're going to stay at $50 million, you stick with what you have. Mobb Deep. Hey, man. No question about it. That's another great band. I like Mobb Deep. Yep. No such thing as halfway gangsters. Let's see here. Let's go back here. Some intelligent combo. I think Howie got jealous of the Sixers stealing the spotlight, hence the Carter deal. All right. Let's see here. At least once a week, I remember Jalen Carter walked into the field the first play of the season, spit on the Cowboys quarterback, and was immediately ejected. Well, hey, that played no factor in this contract. His character has no issues, and his injuries have no issues. Because if it did, you can't explain giving a guy a 4-year contract at $38 million. So obviously the injuries, to what Zander said, nobody has the injury report. So if we're going to go by that and the contract, how hurt was he a year ago? He didn't have a surgery. How injured was the guy? The only time the quarterback is getting $50 million a year against the cap is when you're someone like the Cowboys paying last second all the time. And that's why the Cowboys have let guys go. Unfortunately, he was spit at forced by America's team quarterback. Yeah, well, as they always say, the second guy gets caught. Reyes, me too. Well, I don't have the bag. I have a Century Bob, but I'm on a 2-hour version. There you go. I think Jalen Carter makes All-Pro this year. Awesome. At the end of the year, then, that deal will make Howie look like a star. But if he shits the bed like he did this last year, that deal will look awful. And they're gambling. Okay? They're gambling. And they're gambling on the talent. So remember that. Here's another question going into the 26th season. Does Carter live up to the contract? Will he live up to the contract? He hasn't so far lived up to being a $38 million a year guy. He's had flashes of it. That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. Let me double check Vita Vea's age. Yeah, man. He's 31. He'll be 32 in February. Man, I'm not paying that guy more than 2 years and 25. Somewhere in there. He'll be 32 in February. He's 31 right now. That's a lot. Vita going to the 49ers if they want. They have cap room of $70 million. Man, you put Vita Vea in that D-line with Boza and with Fred Warner. Holy shit. Is that going to look like a good group? Here, you put him out there with if they're able to swing this, here's who your D-line would be in San Francisco. And your front seven. So you got the Cowboy O-line, you got the Cowboy D lineman. You would put him next to, and you would take out Alfred Collins. You would have CJ West, Vita Vea, OC, Nick Bosa, Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner, Mikael Williams. That would be your front seven. That'd look pretty good. Especially in the West, where you got to take on the Rams and Seattle. Vita could go to the Chargers too. They got $40 million and need interior bad. That's a great defense already too. The Chargers have a great defense. Vita Vea going in there and taking over for Dalvin Tomlinson. And Max still gives you shit. Derwin James. That defense, I think, was 5th in total defense last year. They were a good unit, man. That's a good-looking football team. They just need more skilled people on offense, in my opinion. McConkey's okay. Quentin Johnston is stunk. He has. And Rashawn Slater's got to stay healthy. They just got to stay healthy. Dudes? No, you mean executives will discredit Jalen Hurts' winning championships resume by going back 50 years to compare him to some. Dude, executives don't put the winning in there. You're making it sound like media people. NFL executives don't count the championships either. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's an old group. That's a fact. I agree. And, you know, maybe if you ended up getting Vita Vea in there, you know, you could make the conversation where they kind of look a little bit what Washington did a year ago. Is that going to pan out? By bringing a guy. Look, Vita Vea a year ago was spectacular. And the Buccaneers did one thing right on defense. You know what that was? They played the run. Carter was ejected from the season opener for spinning on Dak Prescott for the first play from scrimmage. He forfeited week 1. That is no factor any longer. The Eagles have no concerns about his character. Like I said, you don't give a guy $160 million and then turn around the next day and go, I have concern about character and injury. That's not a conversation piece anymore. For me, because I am still going to hold to this, that I would have waited and signed him like they did with Jordan Davis. I've been consistent with that, and I'll stay on that. I still have those concerns. The Eagles don't. They don't have concerns on character any longer, and they don't have concerns on injuries, or you wouldn't have given the deal. All right. Morgan & Morgan, our number one injury law firm in all of America. We're so proud to have them as a proud sponsor here of the program. They are number one for one reason. They defend families like yours across the country. And this is what makes them special, and this is what makes them winners. It's because they win. Do me a favor. Go to forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. That's forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sills sent you.
There's a reason the Karate Master was the number one salesman in the lumber department.
Karate.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Great job today by all. Appreciate you coming aboard. Thank you. Battle Royale tomorrow. Always a great segment. Philly 500 is probably going to come off the top rope, and he's got to be excited about getting his guy, Jalen Carter. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. We'll see you tomorrow, 2 to 6, and we'll catch you on the flip side.